Yo, we on. Let's go here. Probably only got 3 hours of streaming in me tonight. Tonight.
My sister, but her taste in movies does.
2:40. Okay.
Contrary to popular belief, I wasn't created in a lab. I am not the product of science. I am the product of nature. I was created in a sack, much like many of you watching this. And over the years, I have introduced you to my father, the person responsible for me being alive. God bless. And I wanted to give you a little update on my dad because recently the two of us have embarked on a new journey here. It's one of my father's dreams. It's something he's talked about for as long as I can remember, when I was still just an infant, soiling my diapers and huffing glue. When I didn't even have the ability to process cringe and couldn't even play video games because my stupid little cringe-ass baby fingers couldn't grab a controller. From the time I was born, basically, my father bestowed upon me an overarching quest, like something out of an MMO, like a long-term quest. And now, the two of us are finally going to try and complete it. My father's dream, that he's had for so many decades now, is to build a 32 Ford. That's a car, for those of you that don't know vehicles, which is typically me, but I'm very familiar with this car because my father's talked about it so much for so long. It's a car that holds extreme sentimental value to him for two big reasons. One, it's part of his favorite movie, American Graffiti. And two, he and his father actually built a 32 Ford back in the 70s because of American Graffiti. And I'll let him tell the story of what the 32 Ford and the building of it means to him, and also what happened to it. And then I want to tell you what you're doing.
Ready?
Ready.
Alright. So, Charlie wanted me to do this video. We got a new project started with senior.
Remember me tell you.
Introducing your champion.
This isn't a costume. It's a uniform. It's who I am, and you will respect it.
Take care when you approach me. I'm in a class of my own. Good night, beautiful.
Shooting star!
Most critical here. So, oh jeez. Yeah, I know, right? How piece is that? So, way back in the 70s when I was a teenager, the movie American Graffiti came out. I think it was 1973. Okay, so we saw American Graffiti in 1973. All of us who were car guys growing up as teenagers, we loved that yellow 32 Ford. As most of America did. It was one of those movies that it was a low-budget movie, never expected to do anything, became a cult, kind of like Napoleon Dynamite, I guess. You know? So I set out on this quest
Dang,
to
it's
find
not us.
a 1932 Ford Coupe. And I was looking at that time, I looked through the newspaper and looked at the classified ads and found one, and I went and bought it.
Say
Like
one, we're all
$300.
inside this
So
ring.
I brought it home and to my mom and dad's house, and this is what it looks like. It's a piece of crap. Okay, so that's it. What are you going to do with that? They said, we're going to build this yellow 32 Ford Coupe. So we were not car builders at that time. We just decided that we were going to do it. So I'd go to the junkyard, I'd get parts, we make them work, we fabricate, we do all this stuff. There's your grandfather with the chassis and everything. There's the chassis when we put the motor in it. There's the A-frame we built, put the motor in it. Now this was way before the internet. This is the chassis with the motor in it, body. This is the first time I drove it. There's me when I was like a teenager. We built it from pictures. This is the car when I was at the car show in mid-70s. So I was in these car shows around in Florida. And what happened was, of course, I was a young teenager with no money, right? Mowing yards to try to buy anything I could buy, right? With making money. And a guy came up to me at the car show and wanted my home phone number. So of course back then you didn't know, just gave it to him. Oh yeah, here's my phone number. Well, can I call you? Well, yeah, you can call me. So a few days later, this guy calls me and he wants to come look at the car at my house. He says, "Is it for sale?" At my parents' house. And I said, "No, it's not for sale." So this guy comes. He's a fireman, and he's got $5,000 cash.
But he said it was $7,000.
Well, $7,000. I think it was 5 or 7. I can't remember. He was 7. No, he had $7,000 cash. That's what it was. So all of a sudden, he whips out this stack of $100 bills, and I'm like, "Are you serious?
I'm the
That's
job
not
master.
something I've ever seen in my
You're
life."
falling for me already.
He said, "I want to buy your car." I said, "He just bought it." So he pays me the $7,000. He takes the car and he leaves. Now my mom and dad are on shopping, doing something, and they come home.
Let's
and
find
my
something
dad's
good.
Like, "Where's the 224?" And I said, "Walk in the kitchen and look on the table." And I had taken the $7,000 cash and spread it over the kitchen table.
They did the money spread.
And they walked in and saw it and said, "Holy shit, I don't think they'd ever seen that much money either." So that's what happened with the 32 Ford, and of course it was gone. I recently found another 32 Ford all-steel coupe in Georgia. We went and bought it, and we're gonna build the American Graffiti coupe once again. It's a bucket list thing, but that's my present for this year.
Fuck yeah.
And that's it.
And it's gonna look great.
Yeah, that's it. So, we'll see ya.
Beautiful story. Just in time for the holiday season. So that's the lore breakdown of the 32 Ford and its importance to my father. Thus, its importance to me.
45 seconds
I've
until
always
the ring
encouraged my
closes.
dad to
We've got
really
time,
try
but
and
not much.
find, a way of working on a 32 Ford again, because I know how much it means to him. And he's just never really been able to find it. It's not exactly an easy thing to come across, especially like an authentic 32 Ford. And like, also, he doesn't have like a facility to build cars in or anything anymore. He'd have to do it like out of his garage. So it's just been really difficult. But he found just a unicorn with this 32 Ford, which I'm going to show you videos of. And he said, "Fuck it, we'll do it live." He pulled the trigger on it, got the 32, and contacted a friend of his named Joe, who does have a facility to work on cars. He has a place called Joe's Paint and Body. And he said, "Hey, listen here, brother, you can come work on the car here as long as I get to help as well." So the two spit on their hands, shook on it, and now he's got a place to work on the car. He's also got someone to help him, and I will also be pitching in when appropriate. I don't want to ruin the build or anything, but I know for my dad, him building the 32 Ford with his dad was really special to him. So I want to make sure that I can do the same for him on this 32.
All right, hey everybody, here I am at the world famous Joe's Paint and Body, Tacoma, Florida. This is Joe. Say hi, Joe. Yep. So here's the project that we're taking on, this 32 5-window coupe, and it's going to be a yellow American Graffiti 32 Ford. So the car is 100% real steel body. It's uncut, never been touched. Car's in fantastic shape. We're gonna really do a number on this thing. So we're just standing here, Joe and I, trying to decide how we're gonna approach the project. And what we've decided, Joe, why don't you tell them what you just told me about this car?
Well, somebody's cut the front frame bars off. They're supposed to be hanging out. So I say we find those and put it on it. We're gonna put the spread bar in it. And then we got a 4-deuce setup, carburetor and intake's gonna go on it. We are going to paint the car yellow. We're gonna do a frame off on it. We're gonna change the headers. So we're going to take off, it's got a Meladon racing oil pan that don't belong there. We're gonna take that off and put a regular 327 pan. The motor's 66 327, 275 force. And originally it was a 4-barrel motor with a power glide transmission. They got a turbo 350 transmission in it with a 3-speed manual valve body. we're not so sure if we like that.
Joe's speech about the engine there felt like something out of the first Fast and Furious movie. I half expected him to talk about granny shifting, not double clutching like you should, nearly blew the welds off the intake. But, like, he is clearly a savant. They were going over all of the alterations they're going to make as well as what they're going to keep. The big thing is they don't want to chop on the body because it would be quite sinful to do that. The car's like 90 fucking years old, and that would be a bit of a waste. So, basically, they've gone over a game plan on how they want to approach this build.
We built a dozen cars together or more. So in the past, and so we're back together again, and we're going to build this one. This is going to be next year's project, and we'll get her done.
Yeah, and we'll keep making these videos and sending them in and putting them in the can, and then we'll just show you the progress as we go. Thanks.
Such an unbelievably wholesome sign-off from my dad right there. It almost seems like it was a hostage situation with the way he, like, ended the video. Just like a wide-eyed, 1,000-yard stare. Thanks. Like he was being held at gunpoint for it. I promise you I'm not forcing them to film or document it. It's my dad thought it would be fun to do that together with me and Joe because this is such a meaningful project to him. Plus, a lot of people always ask what my dad's up to because he lives a very interesting life. So I thought it'd be fun to also do this and film it with him so that way we give you updates on it. I think it's a really fun project. I am always excited when my dad takes on something big like this. I haven't seen him build a car in probably close to 15 years now. He just hasn't had the time nor the facility to do it, so it's going to be really cool to see him dust the cobwebs off, shake it off, you know, lubricate the gears again, and get out there and make cars, which is something he's always loved to do. So I just wanted to share this with all of you. I thought maybe some of you would think it was cool, especially those of you that like seeing the updates to my dad's wacky adventures. And I'll give you a little bonus Easter egg here. I talked about this on stream, but my dad also got really big into building models. So he is huge into making miniatures now. So I'll just show you like some of the collection of things he's made. He makes pretty much all of them from scratch, literally eyeballing it, and it's so fucking cool. Oh yeah. The dual top fuel dragsters, eh? Built from pictures, right?
Built from pictures, yeah.
No directions, that's for pussies. You build based on Google Images. Like a real man.
Jump drive set.
Replicator on its way down.
We are literally always trying to do better. And yeah, we're always trying to do better. That simple.
And we'll make more mistakes, but we'll handle them.
Music Mud asks, I bought a backpack right before the announcement on the show today. Will I get the $25 credit? Yes. Yes, you will. Don't worry, we got you.
Has Lina seen Fanboys yet? I can't tell if it's a good movie, but I love it.
I haven't. My sister recommended it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched Clerks?
I have seen Clerks.
Yeah.
I love Clerks.
I love Clerks as well. Fanboys was alright.
Yeah, I read the synopsis, or like I read the like. Normally I don't, but my sister recommended it, and I love my sister, but her taste in movies doesn't overlap much with mine. And so I read not the synopsis, but just like the box, you know, summary. I was like,
yeah, I was like big Omega fan of Clerks, and then watched Fanboys and was like, okay.
yeah, okay. Hey, we'll have to do a we'll have to do a movie night because I installed something. Got something crazy. Did I talk on WAN show about the biggest TV in the world?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Chinese one that you couldn't get out of China because we talked
the
whole
whole
bunch
show.
of. Yeah.
Okay, but did I talk about that I had it?
is coming our way.
You did not. Yeah, didn't think so. Okay.
Well, I have it. It's a 2-video series because of reasons. Number one is I think there's too much content. The video would be like really, really long. And 2, because this thing was thousands and thousands of dollars and I need 2 videos out of it. Honesty's the best policy. And people will flame me for it. I'm just telling you. Everyone else is doing the same thing that I'm doing. I'm just being honest with you, so don't shoot the messenger. The first video is it's an unboxing, but it's an adventure because 115 inches.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It weighed twice as much as what the website said it did.
Is there anything else that's...
Because Chinese specs, I guess,
Is
right?
there anything else that's inaccurate? Have you measured things?
Hold on.
Alright, is the brightness accurate?
So the very process of getting it into the building was an ordeal of epic proportions.
Yeah.
Like the box for it. It's a multi-layer box, and once we had it all like packed out, it was like a maze in my rec room. Like it's incredible. The scale of it. 115 inches sounds like almost double the size of a 65-inch TV.
Yeah.
It's not. Because it's diagonally measured.
It's so much bigger.
It's enormous. And it weighs so much. It comes with these silver handles that look like butt plugs that have threads about this long.
I just didn't think he was going to say it, but they do.
They have not safe ones. They're not flared at the end. But they have threads about this long. You screw them into the sides of the TV at about this height and this height, so that two like strong men can move it.
Yeah.
It's
move it. Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
So the first video is getting it to the point of powering it on, because there's some. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna spoil one roadblock. You cannot get past the opening splash screen unless you have a Chinese phone number. You can't get a Chinese phone number unless you have a Chinese ID. So even just getting the thing turned on in the first place was an exercise in patience and hard work.
And you wouldn't
like
think
my
so.
wife.
What?
I can't. Sorry, what were you?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, did we both make the same joke?
Same thing. Continue. Related. Please continue. Yeah.
Then part 2. We get Brandon from the lab out. We measure this thing. I had some time to experience it, try different kinds of content on it, and I
2 enemy
love
squads left.
Every piece of content that I have put on it is like I've never experienced.
How did you just die?
And what's really cool about it is
What in
watching
the hell?
FDR.
I can't even get you up, can I?
Maybe the color experts out there, guys. Forgive my ignorance here. Color science is something
How did
that
you just
I
die,
have
bro?
learned enough about to get through that segment of the video and then move on and kind of forget half of it and then look into it again. Like I've built up a little bit of knowledge about it, but it is as much magic as it is science. It's crazy. As soon as you start getting into light and color mixing and the perception of the human eye, it gets mind-boggling. But something that I have never understood is when you've got a display, like this one, for example, I think it'll do like 800 or 900 nits peak brightness or something. Why is it that the SDR peak brightness is like a third of that? And that's always the case. Why don't you just make the bright parts more brighter?
Not a clue.
I don't understand that. Why do you limit the brightness in SDR? Well, guess what? This TV doesn't. It will do literally 5,000 nits peak brightness on SDR content, depending on the conditions. It will do a full screen flash. Not even a flash. Like, as far as we can tell,
get flashbang.
it can do full screen white at 850 nits across its entire 115-inch diagonal surface.
What is the power draw on that?
Playing back SDR content. So I put on How to Train Your Dragon, like the one from 2010, the first movie, and I flipped it on for Andy and Andrew. I love that Andrew is Irish, so I'm like, what about second Andy? The point is, I put it on for both of them. I'm like always saying that shit. I shouldn't. I put it on for them, and I was like, okay, this is mind-boggling. And they're like, the opening scene where the dragons are like attacking the village with fireballs or whatever. And I was like, okay, but wait for it. Like, is your mind blown? They're like, wow, the size, wow, it looks so good. I can't believe, I can't believe it's not OLED. The darks are so dark because it's mini LED, full array, local dimming. 20,000 zones. What controller is even driving that? Okay, it doesn't matter. The point is, I was like, guys, you haven't even noticed the craziest part. This is SDR content. And they were like, no.
Is HDR content like painful?
It reaches the same peak brightness in SDR and HDR. It just is black to the whitest white, and it just like, okay, I mean, yeah, why not? That's what I would like to understand. And whatever your answer is not good because
they did it.
They did it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want to know. And now that I've seen SDR content that isn't just kneecapped by not allowing the screen to go to full brightness, it has me questioning everything about HDR, Luke. HDR still has a wider color gamut. It still looks better. But we could have had SDR that looked fucking great for years.
A lot of the marketing stuff with HDR
around the brightness, the peak brightness.
Yeah.
And not just the peak brightness, but the difference between the peak brightness and the blacks. And you could do that in SDR. It turns out, apparently. Yeah, so it's 115 inches, not 150. And the full screen white was 850 nits. It's only in small points where it will do the full 5,000 nits. But on the 100 TV, you got to remember a 1% window is like this big.
So have you watched Pirates of Silicon Valley?
I haven't yet.
That's funny because that's going to be so boring on that TV.
Just like all takes place in like ugly 80s offices.
A lot of it's just offices and stuff. There is some. I mean, there's some scenes in there with Bill Gates, like when he gets arrested and stuff.
Yeah,
that'll be outside. But I mean, yeah, it's not like a show off a TV movie. I'll say that much.
Hold on. Who just said this? Hold on. Someone just said no HDR on Linux. Someone in Float Plane chat. No, yes, Steam Deck. I can't wait for Steam OS to just be an OS I can just run.
Is that a thing? Is that going to be a thing?
Apparently. Someday. I mean, it's Valve time, so who knows? But
yeah.
Theoretically, yes.
Maybe in 20 years.
Yeah, this is TCL's 115-inch TV. Okay, what else we got?
Okay, let's see. Another fun fact about your screwdrivers is that they are able to be decontaminated from radioactive material if exposed. It happened to mine again. Yes, I did tell all three of you about this at LTX.
That's hilarious. I totally forgot, but that's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what the process is for decontaminating a screwdriver because of radioactive material exposure, but apparently it survives it, and yet you've bought another one. Are you sure it didn't destroy it?
I think my favorite is again.
I like, yeah. The again is what got me.
Me too.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Oh man, hackers would have actually been pretty good on it. Some of those fever dream sequences and stuff. Okay, tell you what. I'll watch it again, but only if you watch it with me. We'll watch it together this time. All right. We'll have to do like a hacker screening at my house sometime.
Yeah.
Just people get. Oh, I wonder if it's so many people in there. I don't need like 30 people RSVPing for that feature. Okay, listen.
Need a sharp thing for my job at TSMC, Arizona. My question is, why hasn't LiDAR caught... What?
Oh,
yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My question is, why hasn't LiDAR caught on outside of Apple phones? Out of all the terrible things that people copy from Apple, why not copy something good?
Because it's really hard. Apple does really, really cool shit sometimes. So that's why I don't get it when people say that I hate Apple. I don't hate Apple. When they do cool stuff, I love it. I talk constantly about how amazing their M-Silicon is. They came in out of absolutely nowhere and changed the CPU industry. That's wild. Who else could do that? I just hate it when they use their incredible...
Who else could do it?
on me? Let's take this win.
Alright, so I did my hair for this. Nothing wrong with looking good in the ring, and I look good.
This is your champion. You know what I look like. Come find me.
Good. I'm the jump master.
I can't find the headphones. I'm using a PS5 remote. I know you can probably hear me, but it's not letting me mute it.
Enough lambing around. We dropping first.
Yeah, now we're talking. Let's do this. Enemy landed near me. Got my boots at the ready. That string's far. Hope you like exercise. Ring's close. One more minute.
Damn, we're already landed? Hello? Damn, we already landed, sir?
Yeah.
Wait, how do I know that I'm not the decoy?
I'm sorry.
Alright, this is Dream with the green stuff.
I was out checking the mail.
Ring's close. 45
Then checking my Amazon packages. Nobody won in this ring?
What do we think? Is this the champion?
30 seconds.
I said, is this a champion? Where's a challenger when you need him?
Yeah, getting shot at. Tubes to the rescue. Tick-tock, 10 seconds. At least the ring is closed.
We have ourselves a contender. Now, do we have a challenger?
New kill leader appointed.
Incredible power for evil. That's what I hate, and they just do it a lot.
Hi, DLL. Good evening. Linus saying, okay, boomer, triggered my Google Assistant. That's actually when I trigger it at home. That's the phrase I use as well. It's hilarious and
Really?
terrible cursed knowledge. You can literally say that to activate your assistant. So thanks for that. Also for Linus, what project got you in the most trouble with the bar?
Oh, I mean, there's still time for the badminton center to be the one. I would say recently, the whole house land party. She was not impressed that without talking to her, I committed to hosting a like 50 to 100 person event at our house all weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I knew she'd come around to it once I explained to her that we owe Ubiquity Make Good. And
Well,
I
no,
think,
she knew there was a land. She didn't realize.
yeah, she didn't even know there was a land until she heard it from someone else, though. Yeah, she didn't hear any of it from me. In fairness to me, I did tell people to like talk to her about it, but we're still working on our communication. And I mean, internally here at the company, Yvonne and I usually have pretty good communication. This was not a high point for me, though.
It is very funny what work stuff, like, the other one won't know about.
Well, we're at the point now where we don't tell each other everything, because neither of us can fit all the things that go on here in our brains anymore.
I get it. I just, every once in a while, I'm like, wow.
Well, yeah, because we used to, like, do, like, the bed debrief, you know? Or the shower debrief.
It's probably good to not do those.
I mean, no, we still do. But, like, just, it can't be everything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you gotta have some limits on where work stuff happens.
Sure. That's what she used to tell me. And then I basically was like, well, okay, hold on a second. What do you want to talk about? Like, this is our adventure.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Like, we're... what is wrong as a couple with, like, talking about crushing it? Honestly.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right?
I scoffed at it, but I'm thinking back and like, I mean, I talked about this.
Yeah. And like, what's wrong with doing something you're passionate about and doing it together? Most couples...
I didn't even really like equate it as work stuff in my head, because I'm talking about the things that were interesting or important to me.
We should be so grateful that we have this thing that we do together all day, every day, and that we don't want to kill each other after it. Like, I don't know. I think if you can handle it, if you can do the work together thing, there's nothing wrong with talking about it, as long as you're both on the same page. Like, yeah, if someone says, look, I can't talk about work right now, that's a boundary. You don't cross that boundary, that's fine. But in general, no, I think it's, you know, she's like, oh, we only talk about work and the kids. And I'm like, right, but is there anything in our lives we're doing that's more important than our life's work and our kids? I'm open to it. Like, this is what we do together. We kick ass. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Look, strategize. Which angle will we kick the ass from today?
Replicator on its way down.
We can slap the ass?
Wait for the turn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, DLO, question for Linus. I have a long-term Asian girlfriend, and I'm white. What has been your experience in raising half-Asian children? Have you had any challenges or any great positives?
I think my kids don't really fully understand the concept of race at this point. They were kind of a mixing pot in Vancouver anyway. And
I didn't for a long time.
Like,
I don't know.
Honestly, a lot of kids here are sheltered enough that they don't feel. Like, my kids do understand the concept of it, but they don't think about it. Like, this was just a couple years ago. So
growing up here, it's just, it doesn't matter.
My daughter would have been, I think, 7. And she told me about a friend at school who had, like, I don't know, something. She basically told me about a friend, and I had just volunteered in her class. And so I was trying to figure out who she was talking about. And I was like, oh, tell me what she looks like. And she goes, she keeps her hair in a braid, and she wears shoes like this. And she says, and I'm kind of sitting here going, because as adults, I don't know, like, we're trained to look for these markers, but this is a learned behavior, was what I figured out.
Hair and shoes were what were more important to
the style of the hair, not even the color.
Yeah. But that's what was more important to her.
Yeah.
Because she thought that part was more interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not that she doesn't see it. Yeah.
So it's it's one of those things where it was really cool to see how learned this behavior was. And, like, obviously my own experiences are not going to be the same as what someone else is having. But so far, for my kids anyway, so good. It just doesn't seem to matter. Which is pretty cool, and someday there's going to be a wake-up call about it. And I don't know, maybe it's time to start having those conversations now. But, like, I don't know, let them... I'm not worried about that.
I'm trying to make it as long as they can.
Yeah, man.
Just giving my kids
Line of abuse is like something that sometimes you do actually kind of want to.
Yeah.
Sorry. Keep going.
Linus, would you ever do a TED Talk about leadership and ADHD? No.
Got him.
That is a format that I've been asked to enter, or I've been asked to engage in a lot of times. But
this was a potential that I curated. I interpreted it more as like, would you ever give a talk, not specifically a TED Talk?
yeah, we've been pretty deep in negotiations a couple of times, and every time, what I worry about is what would I say. And it's not that I have nothing to say. I mean, I sit here and I talk to you guys for 4 friggin' hours every week. Like, obviously, I can talk if instructed to. But I feel like there'd be... You guys are chill, relatively speaking. Every once in a while, something will get clipped out of context and just show up on somewhere or whatever. Right? But, like, in general, when I'm talking to you guys, this is a relatively safe space for broadcasting on the internet. And so if I trip over my words, or if I forget what I'm talking about in a sentence, because these are things that I do, speaking of, you know, sorry, I don't know if I've already finished. Yeah, the ADHD thing. Speaking of, like, I'm highly distractible, right? Here, that's okay. I can say, oh, yeah, what was I talking about again? I'd feel a lot of pressure in a format like a TED Talk, something more formal, and that's something that, even for someone who has experience speaking, even publicly, right, like at LTX or whatever else, I just don't know what I really need in my life. And then the other thing is, what would I talk about? I'd want to talk about something that A, I can speak about with authority, so something I know, cold, and B, something that isn't just available for free in the existing library of content that you can find. It's like, okay, well, these are not circles with a lot of overlap. So I'd have to like intentionally withhold something. I don't know. I just don't really see a ton of value in it. I think is the biggest issue. The paycheck looks good, but it'd have to be exactly the right opportunity, and it'd have to be exactly the right topic.
Hey, Linus, I'll be a new dad soon. Woo! Just picking up ABCs of Gaming and the Shape Sorter.
Nice.
Any advice for a father to be? Get ready.
Fun, enjoy it. I mean, most of my kids are barely big enough for me to like hold them. You know, don't take video clips that are always staged. Get lots of little candid stuff. Like, you'd be amazed how fun it is to just watch a video of like the kid brushing their teeth when they're 2, you know, or child. You know, get the everyday stuff, because honestly, the posed picture is not what I ever enjoy looking at.
Yeah.
It's always the candid. And you don't want to be necessarily the parent that always has, you know, the DSLR in the kid's face, you know, constantly or whatever. But just capture moments. Capture the everyday moments. Those are the most magical ones to look back at.
What were the fashion department's thoughts of favorite clothing of other brands survey from a couple months ago?
I don't think I've gone through it with them yet. I'm sorry. I wish I had something to add to that.
Hi, Linus and Luke. How's your experience with the 7900 XTX recently? I've been having many driver crashes, and the FSR disadvantages versus DLSS, like in Alan Wake 2, really made me second-guess my choice. Cheers.
I was doing potentials. What was that? Sorry.
How's the XTX going for you?
Not good, actually. Yeah, gotten worse. It was good, very good, up until quite recently. And now I've started having some pretty bad crash performance. I had a full system crash one time. I had one situation where my driver crashed rapidly, like 4 times in a row, and then locked my entire system. So all my screens would go out, standard driver crash, it would come back, I'd be good for 4 or 5 seconds, and it would happen again. And then I had to just power down my system, power it back up, and then I was fine. It seems to be having an issue in specific locations. This one's been interesting to me. Like, if I play a level, I'll driver crash in a specific room. And then for just like, I'm interested in things reasons, start the level over again, driver crash in the same room. Do it again, driver crash in the same room. nothing different seems to be happening in that specific room, different than any other room. Maybe there's something I can't see or I'm not noticing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things are loaded in the background.
Yeah. Maybe it's
In
something in the
preparation
next
for-
room.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it's something that's happening like behind a wall. I don't know. But, yeah, it's been less good lately, unfortunately. But yeah, it was stable, like rock solid, no crashes from when we made the last video until probably a couple weeks ago. And that's been months of zero problems whatsoever. And then very much so within the last couple weeks, I've had a decent amount of crashes. I don't know if it'll stay. Maybe a driver update will come out and I'll be all good again. I'm not sure, but yeah. Yeah.
Hi, LLD. Looking forward to your shaft. Linus, I use the Darn Tough running socks daily. What are your go-to styles of DT socks? Cushion or no?
I have cushioned socks. I think I'm actually not wearing Darn Toughs today. I'm wearing these cute YouTube socks I got at some event.
Do I need to blur that?
Anyway, it says off hours on the one side and then YouTube on the other side. I was out of Darn Toughs because I didn't put away my laundry last week. I folded it off, but it's just sitting in the hamper in my room because I couldn't get it over the finish line.
So that means you're out of Darn Toughs?
Well, that just means they're buried under the towels that are at the top of a completely folded laundry thing. I do have the padded ones though.
Hey, DLL, I was curious if you remember the first LTT merch sold and how the initial run was misprinted. I still wear my red and black first tank top to mow the lawn. Thanks for always being solid, bro.
Was that a question?
Yeah, do you remember the wear my red and black? Hey, DLL, I was curious if you remember the first LTT merch sold and how the initial run was misprinted. I still wear my red and black first tank top to mow the lawn. Thanks for always being solid, bro.
Was that a question?
Yeah, do you remember the first LTT merch sold and how the run was misprinted?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was in the wrong color. Like this, see, man, this is what I'm talking about. We have always made our best effort to do the right thing. Everyone who got those shirts with the wrong color got another one. They didn't even have to return the one that was in the wrong color because they were red instead of orange.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. I honestly didn't remember this at all.
Like this is a whole thing. This is the whole thing where I just I look at this and I sit here and I go, like, I get it. You guys don't know me or whatever.
Yeah.
But also, like, what the fuck? Like, I've been around, you know?
Yeah.
You can at least, if you're gonna hate, like, if you're gonna dump on someone, at least like do a little bit of research. Like, yeah,
that's a lot to expect from the internet.
Yeah, I know, man.
How about none research? Okay, last one I've got here. What do you mean?
Is it just one?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine says 23. But
I see a few incomings. Wait, you see 20? Oh, yeah.
There's 3 incomings, I guess.
No, mine says 23 curated. But if we all just see one,
there's only one left.
Oh shoot! I had something in mind for this. I don't remember what it was anymore. Any progress updates? Oh yes. Okay, sorry, Dan. You go ahead and read it.
That's the whole thing. Any progress updates on the laptop bag you can share?
Yes. I think we are probably leaning toward reselling. This is coming from the same supplier as the backpack, so as long as we check the top of production, their quality is really good. The product itself is pretty self-explanatory. It's a laptop bag. It's great. So I think we will probably take pre-orders for it. And right now, that order is on hold, pending finding a resolution with these guys for the backpack bottom issue. But hopefully we'll be able to...
Want to answer any of those incoming?
Jonathan says, Give me an option for warranty only. I don't want the credit for the backpack in my wallet or on your books. I trusted you, bro.
I've seen a few messages.
I want you to use it.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
We want you to have it.
Yeah, we want you to have it.
Yeah.
It's as much about making us feel better as it is about making you feel better. We don't feel better unless we've done the right thing.
If you don't want something, get something for one of your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, buy it. You can just buy one thing. The thought behind that was we wanted it to be like actually a meaningful amount of money.
Yeah.
Luke, when is Linus getting his Pizza Hut moment? I mean, we high-fived today.
This is the best part.
You
also shook hands.
We also know what this is.
I'm starting to wonder if Luke doesn't. The more I get to know him.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but it's probably fair.
Chris asks, what are your thoughts on employers prying eyes on remote employees' activity, gauging performance based on stuff like logins, account checkouts, etc. like that? I don't know. It's something we haven't really had to deal with yet. We've definitely had troublesome employees. We've definitely had people who have productivity issues when they're not in office. Our solution is that mostly people are in office, where we can have the team together, where we're managing everyone. For the most part, our remote positions are pretty sort of output measured, so we don't do any of this stuff.
A lot of this stuff is useless if you have intelligent people on your team. So that's something to consider. Because
we do have that.
I have never seen a single version of like work tracking that isn't every single person permanently sitting on a webcam, which is like, and someone actually monitoring all the time, which is also that is actually good. Like, there was one for a long time that was like, their mouse has to move every once in a while. And you just see videos of people that would set up, like, the rotating fans, and just a stick on the rotating fan that's taped to their mouse, and it just moves it back and forth, and they're like, they're working, for sure! And it's, I don't know. A lot of the are these people working detection things, in my opinion, are mostly managers that don't want to do, like, productivity and performance tracking. Hey, I can just it says they did, so but I don't know, because they're all beatable. Every single one that I've ever seen is beatable. So at that point, if you have an intelligent team and they want to get, they'll just do that.
We go start some laundry now.
Check out that area.
Care package over there. stabilizer here. Level 3.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 3. Good for ranged engagements. G7 Scout here.
Optics here. Close range. Heavy ammo here.
Respawn beacon over there.
Okay, curating the last 2. Then we're done, boys.
Linus, you used to be at the center of the hiring process. Has it not been too hard to delegate such tasks? Any tips for new bosses such as me? Thanks.
Yeah, it's really hard to delegate because I don't know, man. Good luck.
It's probably fair enough to be honest.
Yeah. What is the point of HDR when you have some light control? Color management and eyes adapt to light, luminance, and color. Anyway, I notice theaters don't use HDR, so do y'all actually also think it's dumb?
Well, theaters don't use HDR because it's expensive. Some theaters are equipped with HDR. In fact, some theaters are even equipped with video walls, so they get much, much brighter than traditional theaters. As for what's the point of it, when it's done well, it looks so much better. It really, really does. And I would see absolutely having an HDR display at home, like especially the one that I have now, even the projector I had before, I can't think of a reason to go to the theater. It sucks. It doesn't look nearly as good. So I don't think it's dumb. And even if, like I talked about on the show earlier, you could boost the peak brightness of SDR, the additional color volume of HDR still does make it look better. And the metadata that's included with HDR content helps to ensure that your display is doing its best job of representing the content. So it makes the experience more reproducible across different displays. So definitely still a point to it. I think there's a point to mark the end of the WAN show. We'll see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Bye!
How do I unbell?
Yeah, how do you unbell, bitch? Get me back in this league, shit.
This is not a doctor's office. It's Forward, the world's first AI doctor's office. It all starts with the CarePod, an entirely new approach to healthcare with prevention at its core. With health apps, your care team has the latest technology to treat the issues of today and prevent the issues of tomorrow.
Creepy, you get to be your own doctor now. It's powered pod where you can draw your own blood. No thank you. And take your own vitals. Probs not. The dream can now be realized. And take our health into our own hands. We're all doomed. Or is it good? I can't
They
tell
need to be
anymore.
used
A company
in
called Forward is installing these
cohesiveness,
so-called
like a
care
cohesion
pods around the country,
between
starting with just
human
4
experts
locations,
and the AI
with the hope that
as a
people will
tool.
visit them
They don't need
regularly
to
for
supplement
preventative care
that.
and specific concerns. A huge percentage of people,
They're
around
not a
30%, do not have a primary care doctor they visit with.
They're
But
in addition
important
to.
nice. I also don't love that the seats in there seem to be cloth. That's going to be gross. You got to have a hard plastic material that doesn't absorb fluids. Let's take a look at another video.
We'll start by establishing a baseline of your health, diving deep into all aspects of your health, past health history, current health state, future wellness goals, body scan, biometric monitoring, blood testing, and more. It's all about understanding where you are today, where you want to be, and how to get there. After establishing a baseline of your health, you are able to personalize your care with health apps built for you. Whether it's weight management, diabetes screening, or everyday care, like a routine blood draw, COVID-19 testing, or kidney and liver health, there's something for everyone.
A lot of good stuff in there. Does it work? Who knows? To access the pod, you'll need a $99 a month membership that cannot be covered by insurance. Membership allows patients to use their phone to unlock the door, sit in the chair, run through a series of health apps. As explained, you can do biometric body scan, have your DNA sequence, test for hypertension, kidney disease, heart issues, among other things. Adrian Owen, founder and CEO of Forward, says, in 2 to 4 minutes, this starts to fill up with blood. There's no needle, there's no knife, nothing hurts right now. Owen, who is not a doctor, called the device a capillary blood draw and made comparisons to a leech or a hickey, only 2 very opposite things. The results of your test are reviewed by a doctor's office, or you can talk to a doctor virtually while you're in the care pod. The guy himself maybe doesn't inspire the most confidence, but he's right that Americans do need much better access to preventative medicine. What do you all think? Sharon, you getting in one of these pods?
Until you hit me with the $99 I don't need another subscription, and that's prohibitive to me. However, this is probably some kind of slippery slope, but I already want one of these in my house. I stay on WebMD. I Google every ailment that I think I have. My doctor once asked about if I was a hypochondriac, right? These people who constantly, everything that comes up, I see a commercial. Do I have that? So perhaps I would abuse this thing, but I'm so curious about that. The other thing that kind of gave me a little bit of a hiccup, maybe stopped me in my tracks, was this whole leech hickey thing. Less on the hickey. Middle school, I do remember those days. But it's just, I need to know exactly how this thing works. But I would like one, not a shared one.
Fair enough. In my house. You'd like a personal pod. Schuster.
I would.
Well, if Sharon Reed is into this thing, then I'm into this thing as well. I'm convinced. I will follow her. She can go first, and then I'll go in it as well. I remember hickeys as being something rather, I don't know, there was a certain element of pleasure to hickeys, even though they were painful when you got them, because it was a sign that, hey, somebody cared about you enough to give you a hickey. The problem that I see with this, and to Sharon's point, is that if somebody cannot afford to go to a doctor, they're not going to be able to afford the $99 a month. And I wish there was some way we could take this technology and say, okay, if you can't afford to see a doctor, if you can't actually see a real human being, well, this is the next best thing. Go into this pod, and at least you've got some preventive information you're going to get. But as long as we're keeping the price point at an area where this is just another sort of bad for people with money, you can say, oh yeah, you know, instead of an Apple Watch today, I wanted my AI doctor, then it's really not making much of a difference.
One thing is very clear, healthcare will be very different in the coming years. It will be very AI-centered in a lot of ways. Just please, in the V2, not upholstered chairs. Let's go with some kind of a non-porous surface, if at all possible.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this thing. Still, hit the join button below.
me up, though. Just giving my shields a recharge. Isn't my birthday already?
Taking fire. I can use some help here. Taking fire.
Taking fire.
Faster, faster, faster. Bogey right here.
You know now, it's just us. We got to watch each other's back.
Sergeant Shields, come on, come on. They're shooting at me. It's go time. Healing. This is taking too long.
Taking fire. Deploying health drone.
Taking fire. Rápido, rápido. I'm down. I actually got hit.
Patch me up, though. Just giving my shields a recharge.
Round 2. Beginning ring countdown.
Looks like it's a firing.
Replicator being delivered.
Got a replicator coming down. Falling in a lifeline package. Got to cheat myself. Tossing a respawn beacon. That's a firing. "45 seconds. Firing. I got this." "30 seconds and take close. Wicked." 10 seconds. Listen up, I'm getting shot at. Got some materials here.
Care package being delivered.
Go and check it. Got some materials for us.
May have to craft you in a second after I can get away with that. I don't even know if that's gonna work.
Enemies drop down near me. Replicator on its way down. One minute till ring cross. Only 35. Just this quick. 1 second. Don't worry, I got a squad mate's banner. Lift up our teammate's banner. 30 seconds. Fast me up, though. Here's my birthday present. Only 10 seconds left. Half the squad's left. I'm not even tired. this together. Remember that.
Hold on to me, Tinny. This won't take us. It's showtime.
Introducing your champion.
I love this part.
Backpack here. Level 1.
We ought to go here.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Lucky for you, enemy there. We should check that out.
Blood.
The battle happens
We've
quick.
got
Be
throwing.
ready.
Firing! Yo, cracked an enemy shield. Reloading. It's go time. Rings close and close. Being shot at. Recharging me shields. Ring will be closing in 30. She ain't far. Serving 'em a knuckle sandwich.
There's one sniping out there.
Rings us under.
Enemy right here. They're shooting at me. Cracked a bad dude's shield. Reloading. Taking fire.
Rings moving.
Firing arc star. Charging shields. Recharging me shields. Firing a frag. In the ejector seat. Chucking a thermite. Firing a thermite.
Delivering care package.
Sweet.
Reloading. Deploying hook drone. Recharging my shields.
Oh, I gotta get right here. No kill leader. Show off. Serving him a knuckle sandwich. Might get hit.
This ain't no place for you unless you try a bit harder.
Well,
today, NVIDIA is doing something. Wild to their next flagship GPU. RX 7000 issues have finally been fixed. AMD announced something way bigger than Ryzen 8000, and AMD's new core destroys Intel. Welcome everyone to Gamer Now. First up for today, if you saw my recent video, you know that NVIDIA was essentially warned by the US Commerce Secretary in regards to redesigning chips to get around US restrictions to China. And given that came right on the heels of all the 4090D rumors, I assumed that NVIDIA would likely cancel the release. Well, it doesn't look like that's the case. The company is planning something drastic to make it work. According to a new report from Benchlight, they claim the 4090D is still coming. Not only that, but they also claim to confirm that the GPU will not allow overclocking. Maybe this is one thing NVIDIA did to ensure the US doesn't put more restrictions on it, and it does make sense, because board partners could potentially go over the performance set by US restrictions if they try to sell overclocked models. So NVIDIA likely has to completely shut it down. Not only that, but according to known leaker Mega-Size GPU, there isn't even any kind of delay, which should mean a release at the end of January. To top it off, he was able to get clocks for the upcoming card. According to this, the base clock is 2280 MHz, which is actually higher than the RTX 4090, and the boost clock is the same 2520 MHz. And that, I will say, makes it really look like this will definitely have quite a bit fewer cores than the regular 4090. And don't forget that the initial report from NVIDIA claims the card will have the same MSRP as the normal 4090. Now, when you're ready to buy your next GPU, get it where I built my first ever PC and today's sponsor, Micro Center, the one place with physical storage you can get any part you need for your PC build. And they could be coming to your town soon. In fact, they just opened their Indianapolis store and they're already working on North Carolina. So get pumped for what I call a PC gamer's heaven. I mean, what other place can you go that has a huge wall of motherboards? Oh, and you need a case? They've got you covered.
What's happening?
We're even talking custom water cooling parts. And somehow they're able to still have some of the best prices in the industry. But they don't just have PC parts
parts either. They even have a really sweet maker section. And for a limited time, new customers can actually get the Creality Ender 3 S13 printer for just $149. That's a great price for one amazing 3D printer. To pick yours up, check out the link in the description below. Next up for today, AMD recently rolled out a long overdue driver that fixes something big. For those who don't know, there's been one issue with AMD's newest parts that's been going on for a while now, and that's high idle power draw. Earlier this year, the company released driver updates that ultimately fixed the power draw issues on their higher-end 7900 parts, but the issue has been prevalent on their lower-end parts as well, and this new driver update finally fixes that. As you can see in new tests from Tom's Hardware, the 7800 XT went from 33 watts at idle to 12.9. The 7700 XT went from 27.5 to 12 watts, and the 7600 went from 17.1 to 8 watts, making this a pretty stark difference over what we had been seeing previously. And that power draw drops even further when things like the display goes to sleep, etc. Either way, it's good to see AMD finally fix this. Next up, if you saw my last video, you know that I very quickly discussed the announcement from AMD on their Strix Point APUs coming soon, but I mostly focused on the 8040 series because that's what's coming next. Here's the thing though, while the 8040 series is set to come in Q1 of next year, Strix Point is also coming next year, and it's said to be the real performance king. Don't forget that the 8040 series looks very similar to their 7040 parts released in January. The main difference is that the new 8000 parts come with a much more powerful neural processing unit for AI. It seems like AMD is starting to really push AI now, so they're trying to get something out as quickly as they can. But the 8040 series is just Hawk Point, which looks to be more of a stopgap to their real upgrade, Strix Point. That's likely why they're both set to release in the same year. Remember that Strix Point is set to come with their next-gen Zen 5, as well as RDNA 3 Plus for the iGPU. Not only that, but it's the architecture that includes their Halo SKU. That's the one rumored to come with a whopping 16 cores and 32 threads, as well as an unbelievable 40 CUs, meaning the iGPU would have way more cores than the RX 7600. And don't forget, that's RDNA 3 Plus. Rumors point to that SKU releasing in 2025, but even regular Strix Point is rumored to have 12-core CPUs instead of 8, along with more CPUs. Not only that, but AMD claims that Strix Point's NPU offers up to 3 times the AI performance. Basically, next year is set to be
behind this box
for AMD. And lastly for today, AMD's new little cores look to completely destroy Intel's. This story comes from a new Geekbench benchmark that shows off Intel's upcoming 144-core CPU. This is their Sierra Forest CPU, which means it was built using only Intel's little cores. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it's exactly what AMD did with their Bergamo CPUs. Remember, those are the ones with their Zen 4 C cores, which is AMD's version of efficient cores. Moving back to the Intel benchmark, we can see that this is running 2 of Intel's 144-core CPUs, which made for a whopping 288 cores. And in the benchmark, they got a multi-core score of 7,770 and a single-core score of 855. Now, you may be thinking that single-core score is way too low, but remember that Intel's little cores don't get anywhere near their normal core clock. Plus, they don't have hyper-threading, which explains why the multi-core score isn't all that great either. And when we compare this to AMD's 128-core Epic Revolution, it completely destroys Intel's upcoming CPUs. I mean, we're talking a single core, it got nearly double, and a multi-core, it got well over double the performance. Also, don't forget that this is one AMD CPU against 2 Intel parts. Though Intel's highest-end chip does look to be a 288-core CPU, but clearly it doesn't stand a chance. With all of that said, Intel's little cores are way smaller than AMD's, and this isn't a final Intel part. But if they don't get significantly better, and AMD puts their little cores in Ryzen, it could be an absolute blowout. So while that does it for today, how wild are AMD's new cores? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to check out Micro Center in the description below. And as always, have a great day.
Sometimes when my wife is out of town and nobody else is around, I'll be out here late at night in the shop, working away at the computer, and I can't help myself. I've got to stop and compile Chromium just to see how fast I can do it. Hey, I'm Dave. Welcome to my shop. I'm Dave Plummer, retired software engineer from Microsoft going back to the MS-DOS and Windows 95 days. And I've been daily driving a 3970X 32-core 64-thread Threadripper since they were new about 3 years ago. It was a big leap for me because I was coming from the i7 4770K, I believe it was, and that was my next computer after that. I've had it ever since, and I'm still using it today. But as fast as it is, I'd trade it all for something a little faster. And so I was interested in the new Threadrippers that I heard were coming out, and so I reached out to one of the biggest tech channels out there to say, help a little guy out, you got a contact at AMD that I could maybe reach out to. And the response was basically, it was hard for me, it should be hard for you, kid. Kind of like an old programmer. Anyway, so I wound up reaching out to AMD, who connected me with HP, and HP has sent me to evaluate one of their awesome HP Z6 G5A workstations. Now, not mine to keep, it has to go back at some point. My money changed hands, they have no input on the editorial side, and they don't get to publish it. Now, the Threadripper is equipped with the NVIDIA RTX 2080 as well, so you would think I would do my video editing, but I actually do all that studio because I'm a fan of Final Cut, and I'm kind of bound to the software, and so I love Mac for it. But the machine would be very capable. I, however, use it mostly for software development. And so what matters to me is compile times, particularly on large software projects. I had started out with compiling the Linux kernel, something I did in my last episode. If you missed that, check it out. But at some point, even that's not enough code because I think it takes less than a minute on this machine. What I would really like to compile is the Windows NT code base from the source leak for Server 2000 or 2003, I think it is. I left in that era, so I remember what it was like, and I just took this night to build, and I'm curious to see how long it can compile. I'm not going to mess with the source code. So look at compile that is huge and will really evaluate CPU's ability to build massively in code. I figured the Chromium base is a good candidate, plus they're pretty well known as a benchmark. The benchmark standards that I've seen put the 3970X up near the top, and probably the 3990X is a little faster, but I haven't found a number. Either way, they're running about 30 to 34 minutes in that range. So I figured if we can shave a few minutes off that, which we should be able to, then we'll see faster. Now I'll walk you through the Chromium build setup process and the actual build in a moment. But first, we need to talk about what I'm going to do next, which is to upgrade the memory in the machine. Why am I doing that? Because on my initial builds, I found that with 192 copies of LLVM, the C language compiler running in parallel, it was demanding upwards of 200 gigabytes of combined memory and swap, and I only had 128 gigabytes of actual RAM in this machine. I can't believe I'm saying only 128 gigabytes, but such is life with a massively parallel machine. So I thought, right off the bat, I'm going to upgrade the memory in the machine so that it's not constrained by RAM, and that way it's actually building and not paging to bits. That way we can get a fair number. So let's take a look at the HP workstation and the RAM upgrade. Alright, we've got 8 sticks of 48 gigabytes each of Micron DDR5 ECC 5600 RDIMMs at 1.1 volts and CL46. One of my favorite things about these HP workstations is the toolless design. I simply grab the tab and pull the handle down. Similarly, on each side we have the PCI slot covers and fans that force feed your PCI cards. One on each side here. There's the GPU. And if we go to the center, pop this tab, and the whole thing, wrong way, this way, Dave. Whole thing should lift out. There we go. The Threadripper Pro supports 8 channels of memory, and we see 8 DIMMs already installed. That's what's giving me my current 128 gigabytes. So we'll simply pop the sticks out and set them all aside one by one. And that's the problem with replacing RAM in a machine that was already fully populated. At least not my workbench takes only 28 gigabytes of RAM. And the empty RAM packages mean that I've installed all 8 sticks, and it should be ready to go as soon as we put everything back together. So let's put the CPU cooler shroud back on first, which will snap back into place. I will put on the 2 PCI fan rail systems here. That one will snap in quickly, and so should the other one. There we go. And with that, we get the machine back together. Finding that RAM was no easy feat. There's no documentation yet on this machine, and there's nothing on their website in terms of a vendor compatibility list for memory. So I posted to the Hardware Junkies forum on Facebook, and Kai posted back with actual part numbers for me to try out. And so I went to, wait for it, Walmart. Why Walmart? Well, because Bass Pro Shop was out of memory that day. No, because it was the only place that I could find 5600 Megatransfer RDIMMs and ECC for server memory, the general specific category memory that this machine requires. Plus, I needed 8 sticks, and so I wanted to end up between 384 and 512 gigabytes of RAM in that range. And so it worked out well because these were 48 gigabyte sticks, as you saw. So after placing my order at Walmart.com, I had my RAM in 2 or 3 days. So back when I found the machine was paging madly and I was slowing down the build so badly, my initial reaction was to limit the number of threads that it would do in parallel to 128 to 796. Now you think, well, it's only going to run 2 things fast. But that's true, and I'll explain that in a moment. First of all, it saved a lot of time because by limiting it to 128 copies of LLVM compiled running at the same time, I was able to stay within the memory constraints of the system, stay under the 128 gigabytes of RAM, and so it wasn't paging at all. So that allowed it to run CPU back. Now, I wasn't running 194 if I was only running 128, so as I said, shouldn't it be 2/3 as fast as possible? Well, yes and no. It would be, but here's kind of the thing. This is an OS system, which means that it's limited to the limits built into the CPU. The CPU level is blocking, but not on an OS system. So what that means is that this system is limited to 350 watts of power. And when you're running 128 cores, it's already pulling 350 watts. So adding more cores doesn't really buy you that much more ability to do work. Now, there are other benefits to having more cores, but in this case, at these power limits, I was constrained by power and not by the number of cores. Still, the proof is in the pudding, and the only way to do it is to let it run unconstrained at 384 gigabytes and see how it builds. So from there, let's go take a look at how to set up the Chromium build environment and what it takes.
725, let's keep moving.
How fast we can do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to install NeoFetch, bring in some information about the CPU.
Keep moving.
We'll let that run for a second, and then when it's done, I will go through and I'll do a sudo apt update and a sudo apt upgrade in order to make sure my system is up to date before installing all the tools we need to build Chromium. After that, I like to install the Build Essentials package, which tends to include most of the things that you need to build. Okay. Though I see it turns out to be Build Essential, not Essentials. We'll install that, let that run for a minute, and take a look around. Next, you have to make sure that you have curl, get, and Python 3 all installed on your system. Looks like I already do for each of these, but it's good to check before you start trying to build. Next, we need to clone the depot tools, and I'll put all this in the video description or a link to it. And once we've got the depot tools, we need to edit our path by adding the depot tools to our path. I'm going to create a directory called Chromium, then I'm going to change into that directory, then I'm going to run fetch in order to pull down all the code. Let's run no hook, and I want to add no history, which will save me a lot of time from downloading the entire source history for all of these files. The build instructions say this could take up to 30 minutes on a fast connection and significantly longer on a slow machine or slow connection. It took 3 minutes in real time, so I found that pretty fast. Next, we change directories into the source folder and run a script that will in turn pull down all the code dependencies that this project needs to build, which is a rather extensive list. So as you can imagine, I will fast forward through some of this. And once that is complete, we run gclient runhooks, which, now I'm no Linux wizard, but I believe it will run all of the post-install processes that it needs to do once the packages are actually downloaded and installed. Now it looks like they have a tool GN here that will generate basically make files for everything that goes on below here. I believe that's what's going on, and it looks like it takes a few seconds to do that, and it made 18,811 targets from the 600 files in 2 seconds. Fancy. Now I wanted to run NeoFetch to take a look at the CPU, so let's do that now. And we can see it's correctly identified as an HP Z6 G5A workstation, and it has 192 threads at a base clock of 2.5, I've never seen it get that low, and that it has an NVIDIA RTX 8000 and 386 megabytes, I guess they would call it, of memory. And finally, to kick off an actual build, we run our Auto Ninja tool with an output folder, so we'll build in Chrome. We're going to add time to the beginning so we get our actual performance metrics at the end. I'm going to run a session of HTOP, my favorite Linux utility, on top of, so we can monitor the build process, see how the CPU and memory is being activated and used, and what processes are actually actively consuming resources. A little HTOP trivia for you, since I wrote Patch Manager, I thought it was kind of cool to get a hold of the guy who wrote HTOP, so I tracked him down, and I believe it is Porto Alegre, Brazil. So with Sean, and it seemed pretty cool. We talked Task Manager and HTOP for a while. It's kind of an interesting set of conversation. Now, I'm running a video of this process at 2,000% speed. That's kind of neat because we can watch the graphs as they go over time, see the processes go as large trends. Obviously, C-Line++ is the big, the big tool being used here, and we're saturated at 100% almost all the time. You can see we have 192 running tasks on average and a load average of about 196, 197 up in the area. And as you can see when it wraps up, this build took 19 minutes and 27 seconds. Pretty impressive given the 30 to 34 minutes I've seen online for fast builds, but I think we can get a little faster yet. Now before we go through the benchmark results, I should tell you up front that at first I was running everything under Hyper-V. So I was running Ubuntu as a Hyper-V VM underneath Windows. And it's actually not underneath Windows because when you install Hypervisor with Windows, it's actually kind of running under Windows too. And so Windows is sort of a special here, but Ubuntu is basically running on the hardware but through the Hypervisor. But in order to rule out the possibility that I was going to blame this all on Hyper-V and Windows, so I installed a new drive, installed Ubuntu on that, booted to that bare, and then ran all the benchmarks again. So it'll be interesting to compare the Hyper-V to the bare metal results. So under Hyper-V, my best result was limiting it to 128 cores with 128 gigabytes of RAM. So in the 128 gigabyte config under Hyper-V with about 110 gigabytes allocated to the Ubuntu VM, my best result was 18 minutes and 25 seconds. I then installed the 384 gigabytes of RAM, unleashed it to 192 cores, ran it again, and came in at 19 minutes and 5 seconds. Somewhat slower. Not a huge amount, but enough that I noticed that I benchmarked it 30 seconds. So I thought maybe it was something magical about running at 128 cores. So I ran it again at 128 cores, but with all 384 gigabytes of RAM. And it was slow, 20 minutes and 1 second. This is when I got concerned and thought I gotta get Hyper-V out of the equation here, because for all I know it's not giving memory in the same Newman node or something, and it turns out my concerns were not justified. Because when I installed raw Linux on the bare metal, what I found was a best time with 128 gigabytes and 128 threads of 18 minutes and 20 seconds. 5 seconds faster than under Hyper-V, which I would consider to be normal. So equivalent. I think is actually really impressive and reassuring that if you're going to run something under Hyper-V, that you're not paying a huge performance penalty. At least I didn't find it. Now again, that 18 minute and 20 second best result was with you until 120 gigabytes. Once I installed 384 gigabytes, my result, still limited to 128 threads, was 19 minutes and 40 seconds. So about an additional minute and 20 seconds. And the only thing that really changed was more memory. When I uncorked it and finally let it run 192 threads with 384 gigabytes, it came in at 19 minutes and 27 seconds. That's still a full minute slower than the original 128 threads, 128 gigabytes. Nothing happy. I don't really know. Looking at the CL timings and all that, they're all identical between the RAM, they're all 4600. I looked at different part numbers from the RAM that I've installed in the video description, so that if you're a knowledgeable person, you can take a look. Perhaps social theory as to why the machine is slower. Now I went from 8 sticks of one size of memory to 8 sticks of another size of memory with all the timings that I believe to be the same. Should not place any additional load of the memory controller, but these are 2R1 so perhaps more voltage is required to a controller, and that may affect timing. It's just a little above my pay grade in terms of hardware, so I look forward to your comments to speculate on why the machine actually got slower. You might then wonder, what did I wind up doing? Well, I turned the memory, or at least I just filled out an RMA with Walmart, and I've got a really comparable Walmart. The return process, even though this was through a third-party vendor on Walmart, was seamless, painless, quick, and they provided the shipping label and everything else. The FedEx is coming on Monday to pick it up, and I will happily purchase from Walmart again. Kind of an Amazon guy, but it's nice to know they're out there if they have it in stock. If you found today's compiler adventure interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel. Even though it doesn't make a lot of difference in whether or not you see the videos, it's kind of the metric by which I judge my success. I'm not selling anything, and I don't have any Patreons. I'm just in it for the subs and likes, so I would appreciate it if you left me one of each before you left today. In the meantime and in between time, I'll see you next time, right here in Days Grow.
Passwords suck. Even if you have a password manager to help you keep track of the dozens of credentials you're probably using, they come with quite a few problems other than simply being hard to remember. Secure passwords can still be hacked, as they aren't always stored in a secure manner. And even if they are, passwords can and do get stolen via social engineering, like when a scammer calls up your poor old grandma. And security concerns aside, the whole song and dance of having to create a password in the first place can actually lead users to just give up on using a service altogether. Together, especially if it doesn't have that sign in with Google or sign in with Apple button available as an option. And obviously services you sign up for want your business and aren't exactly thrilled when a user walks away. So it shouldn't be surprising that passkeys are starting to become more common. These are credentials that allow you to access an online account without a password. To use a passkey, you still need to authenticate that it's actually you trying to use it, but instead of a big, long, silly word, you use a fingerprint sensor, or facial recognition, or a QR code or PIN, which are useful if you're on a device like a desktop PC that might not have biometric recognition hardware. Of course, you have to remember a PIN, which is usually one of the advantages of passkeys, but biometrics are already extremely common on phones and laptops and can be strictly added to your desktop. But regardless of the authentication method, passkeys are stored in a different way than traditional passwords, which is one of the main selling points in terms of security. We'll tell you exactly how that works right after we thank Secret Lab. With the Black Friday Cyber Monday sale coming to an end, Secret Lab said, why not just keep the savings going? That's how they sound. Their holiday sale is live now, and you can save up to $150 on shares like their illustrious Titan Evo with its dynamic lumbar support and 4-way adjustable armrest. Or save up to $100 off their desks like the premium and versatile Magnus Pro. Check out the sale at the link below and save big this holiday season. Instead of hanging out on a server, passkeys live right on your device. But if that's the case, how does the server know that we're giving it the credential to use the account? The answer is public key cryptography! Essentially the same basic idea that underpins most of the encryption you find on the web. We have another video with more details on cryptography, but the gist of it is this. The website or application you're connecting to stores a special string of characters called a public key, and the key that stays on your device is a private key. The public key is useless on its own, but when the key pair is verified as correct, you're granted access, baby. Bingo. The cryptographic algorithm that generates the keys is nearly impossible to reverse, so if someone breaks into the server and steals the public key, it's very unlikely that they'd somehow be able to figure out your private key, unless they have a quantum computer. Something. Passkeys also don't need to use multi-factor authentication involving those numerical codes that you have to copy and paste. Unlike a password-based system, a bad actor would physically need access to your device to get into your account if you're using a passkey. This means that the second factor for a passkey is effectively your fingerprint, your face, or your PIN, which you're already using to sign in anyway. Of course, this doesn't mean that passkeys are absolutely secure. For example, someone could set up a weak, misplace their phone, and suddenly it's quite easy for a bad actor to get into a huge number of their accounts. But the point isn't absolute security. That isn't
Overshield on the hill.
The goal is to make your accounts easier to access and more secure than they are with controlled passwords, both at the same time. And seeing as how
And hammer.
too many of us are still using passwords like 40, the companies that are pushing passkeys should just be honest. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, maybe watch that other video on cryptography, or switch it up. How about why are planes white? Great one.
It just picks me up naturally, and yet I have a pretty loud service running in the floor next to me that I'm in the middle of troubleshooting. I've got a test bench running behind me, and I've got my noisy desktop right here. And I rarely, even with my AC on full blast, rarely hear background sound in my recordings. In fact, the last two videos I've recorded at my desk with it, aside from the audio hiccups from my Windows issues that we'll be talking about soon, have been with the AC on. And you don't really know it.
Normally when I make a video like this about a movie outside of it being a moist meter, it's to talk about how unforgivably awful the film is and just kind of tear it apart. That's not how this is going to go today. I actually saw a movie that was so surprisingly good that I have to just glaze it. The movie I'm going to be talking about is Godzilla Minus One. I can't recommend this movie enough. So, I have for quite a while been a public enemy to Godzilla fans. I am very harsh on a lot of the Hollywood Godzilla films that come out, to the dismay of many fans. And it's not because I hate Godzilla and I despise fun and I'm trying to steal the Christmas fucking Grinch or anything. As I've stated many times, I actually love Godzilla. I grew up playing a lot of the video games.
He's got a hammer on you.
Tons of the movies, including a lot of the black and white ones with my parents. Rodan, in particular, is my dad and I's favorite. Like, I do like Godzilla. The reason I've been so harsh on the more modern films is because I think they're just pretty fucking stinky. They've focused on the most boring human characters imaginable and just have a
He's in the corner with his hammer.
It's all just completely hypnotic, generic trash until Godzilla's on screen doing some fun shit. But it's just so sporadic in the modern films, it's just not worth it. They're barely even Godzilla movies. They're basically just like throwaway Tumblr fanfic that occasionally Godzilla makes a cameo in. Except for Godzilla vs. Kong. I actually liked that quite a bit. I thought that was a great ride. So, aside from Godzilla vs. Kong, I have not been a huge fan of the more modern Godzilla films. But now, we have Godzilla Minus One, and I think this film is extraordinary. Not only is this a Godzilla movie, but just a general movie, so even if you're not nostalgic for Godzilla in any way, shape, or form, I still think you will likely enjoy it. He's got
Is that a microwave?
It's a microwave!
That is sick! I'm not expecting you guys to be able to keep up with my recent glow up, but MSI sponsored this video so that we could show appreciation to our community and take a look at your setup glow ups. Whether you cable managed, wired up a ton of RGB, or went whole hog and completely redid your existing setup, I want to see it. Ploop and James want to see it, and most importantly, all of you guys also want to see it. Before we get started though, I just want to give a huge thanks and shout out to everyone who submitted pictures for today's video. We wouldn't be here without you. And also, a big thanks to MSI and their new laptops, the Raider GE68 and Summit E13 Flip. The Raider that I'm roasting you guys with today has got up to a 13th gen Intel Core i9 processor using RTX 4090 Mobile beast, and they're cooling it with a brand new shared heat pipe design.
We'll get more into it and the E13 pick later, but for now, let's light him up. Oh, I do like this setup, but where is the actual computer?
It's under the piano chair.
Hey, there it is! Piano chair, you say? That's pretty generous. That looks like an IKEA Mars tool to me. You know what? Considering how much gear is in here, though, not the camera management. You didn't have to use your old 0.3 megapixel Logitech webcam to take the picture, though.
Maybe it's a really old picture. Maybe it's a really old setup.
I mean, that is a square monitor.
This is back in the days where all walls were yellow.
That's crazy.
This person won the lottery in the interim years, I think. Holy cow.
All of this audio equipment is tens of thousands of dollars.
This person is just one of those people who likes setting things up. Do you actually use this stuff?
You cannot play that many keyboards at once.
I think you witnessed the transition from amateur to professional.
Or from amateur to amateur with a big problem.
Sounds like me.
I do the solo.
Let's do this.
Ooh, I like the studio monitors or whatever speakers those are.
You know, I don't even mind this setup. I like these stands. I don't know what you put under them. Surely those
Just hold them off.
Speakers.
They're coming from below. They're coming from below. 3 coming up the ramp. 2 coming up the ramp to your left.
It's so much easier to take them off. They forward.
4, 3 coming up there.
On.
Was that a UPS down there?
Yeah. Man or lady of culture.
I will sacrifice my foot space.
Good job. We came back. We were losing. We came back.
What do we got over here? We got The Witcher.
You've got a nice camera.
Streaming setup.
Yeah.
Wireless dock.
Yeah.
Also,
set up.
what is with these cultured folks with the studio monitor speakers?
Right.
You know, I never got into it, but man, do they ever sound good.
What's under that white cloth?
Oh, that's a mystery.
Something we're not supposed to see.
Coming for the
Obviously.
photo.
Azura.
This is the
This is
before?
a nice before. This must glow a lot now if this is what we're looking at for before.
This is before at my parents' house.
Sure, yeah. They got a bunch of manga. They buy every
Buy a lot of Call of Duty.
We got a Switch on the left there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they added lighting.
Is that the same room?
It kind of looks like. Well, go back.
Go back to the crown molding and
Yeah, that's
chair rails.
it is.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, the old setup was kind of cooler.
This is more mature.
Yeah, this is way more tasteful.
Except you need a diffuser for those crown molding LEDs. When you can just see the LEDs exposed, no good.
This
I get
character.
it. I get it. You need to bring a girl over once in a while. That wasn't an issue at this point.
How do you know it's not a girl?
How do you know they're into girls?
If you were bringing a dude over, this wouldn't be a problem.
Well, okay, fine.
Oh my god, are
This
you in
is
the
a
bathroom?
bathroom.
Oh no, I don't think this is a bathroom. I think this is off to the side in the kitchen.
Oh, maybe.
I think this is the old school phone table. And really, like, Facebook? Right hand side start menu? You monster! How much you want to bet there's no deodorant? Anyone who would have a right side start panel would have no deodorant.
Ooh.
Wow.
This is great. I love it when they do the effort of making it all one thing. It looks really nice.
I like how the speakers nest underneath in the gaps there.
That's cool. Tell me this, Pluke. You're
Yeah.
the keyboard nerd. How cool is this keyboard out of 10?
It's pretty sweet. I really like
That wrist rest.
I was gonna say I really like the marbly wrist rest.
This is perfectly
Coil
parallel.
cable.
Perfectly
Yep.
parallel to the keyboard.
Yep, nice little 60%. Oh, that's plywood. Or is that cardboard?
That's cardboard, dude. That's cardboard.
First year engineering student.
Also, this side panel, though.
Yeah.
There is a side panel on there. I just think it is actually cellophane.
I think
Oh, I thought it was a plastic peel.
totally wrapped.
Oh my goodness, this OSD. This interface, though.
The monitor, you took it right out of the shell. It can't get much worse.
The background got worse.
Hey, look at desk pad.
Oh yeah, new keyboard with the cable.
Cool keyboard.
Could be straightened.
Couldn't be bothered to organize that.
Those are some weak headphones.
Wait, we've had all stereo monitors up until now, and then we end up with this.
Is this MacBook or is there a PC somewhere?
It's probably off of whatever they got at the dollar store with their headphones.
This is classic. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
You got the old desk.
This is a laptop plugged into a TV.
This desk, though, I don't even think that's IKEA grade. Got the 6 studio monitors.
You got like a hatchet or an axe, though?
Well,
This guy an axe
Why
murderer?
need this axe?
This is the before picture of that other guy's white cloth.
Yeah, he's got a laptop down there. Speaking of laptops, did I mention the Raider GE68 has a bunch of cool aesthetic upgrades? There's a new customizable matrix light bar, and they've infused the MSI logo into numerous spots on the chassis, like into the bottom, the hinge cover, and concealed here in the speaker mesh. How cool is that? Not as cool as this setup.
Is that a
obviously.
PlayStation on the bottom
It's
like
like
another lap?
PS3, yeah.
Uh-oh, it gets Linus-ified.
Are those just heat sinks? Sandwich? Weights on it. And I hate that I understand this immediately looking at it. The weights are on them because there's no actual mount, and they just need some pressure to ensure decent contact between the heatsink and the chip.
You're disappointed because you see yourself in this game.
This is totally something you would have done. This is something I have done.
Look at that nice mount though on the side.
That's not a nice mount. They've got double-sided tape with double-sided Velcro on it.
That was awesome for convenience. You don't have to bend over and get your head in there. You unvelcro it, dongle up, Velcro it back on.
I totally agree. And this cabinet, or whatever this desk they're using, it's not that expensive. You know, they can deal with the tape ripping off later. That was a very tactful way of putting that.
See how the laptop protrudes out?
You know what? Yeah.
That's airflow. There's no door.
Go to the after it. Oh, that's crazy.
Racing, streaming.
Okay, so what kind of job do you do?
No, look at the desk.
Oh no! That's practical.
It might be the same desk as reconfigured.
Yeah, that's what the X was for. Look at this. Ooh, they got the LTT sticker. Yeah, at least they got their priorities straight. Spend all your money on LTTstore.com. Have no money left for a desk that doesn't look like your rodent chewed on it. Oh, I figured it out, you guys. This is all chewed up from mounting and remounting the wheel.
Good work, buddy. Nice backup.
That's your old racing rig.
Love you.
Well, it looks better now.
Look at that chair. You got that from someone's lawn.
It's messy, but there's
That's
stuff
got a
there.
trainer here?
Yep. Got the key-shaped USB. I like it. Because you got a command strip holding the headphones. You know, you can take that off without damaging anything. Oh my god! You're not supposed to do that!
Is that a fidget spinner or what is that? A disc holder?
Is the fidget spinner really our concern when they're using a pull-out keyboard tray? They feel great when you don't want to keep your arms like up on the desk. Well, they don't! They are awful. Look at this mousing space. Yeah, okay, that's pretty bad. Also, this looks like the worst of gaming chairs. When you have to put one of these dollar store butt pads on just to make it usable, you know you've made a really poor decision.
This guy's driver's seat has the beads on it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, that's some organization. Got that
What's
nice
up, this?
blister block.
Chew.
This is a studio now, though.
Yes. Yeah. Looks good.
Some treatment on the ceiling, maybe? Some acoustic treatment would be good.
Wow. That's a clean underdesk, though.
Your robot vacuum loves you.
Oh, classic chair. Wow. Everything about this is square. The monitors, the aspect ratio, the photo. What's that tablet or whatever on the left? Oh my god. That's the Wii U with the Splatoon skin or something on it. Ooh.
Ah! He looked like from a scene in Alien. There's gonna be a soldier hung up in that.
Yeah.
We should just sell shrouds, like the desk mats. Just hang them there.
Also, who do you think you're fooling? What, you're gonna put all these in a nice little grid like you're not some kind of savage who just puts everything all over your desktop? No. If you have that many icons on your desktop, you and I can't be friends.
Wow. Wife approval factor.
Well, it depends. If this is in the bedroom, I don't think my wife would be impressed.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Wife banished factor. She gave him this space.
Yeah. Also, like, the ergonomics of this do not look great. You're sitting here. Hitting me from the floor.
There we go, aquarium vibes.
I am far more into the minifigures vibe than the gigantic figures in my space vibe. I think it's cool clutter. It's nice, especially on a floating shelf. Pull-out keyboard tray, really? Did you go out of your way to add that to this table? They probably don't have much space. Oh, wait. Holy crap! Did you guys notice how low profile this is? Yeah.
That's not deep at all.
These are mounted to the wall. So your wife gave you even less space. But boy, did you ever make the most of it. I like it.
I really like that lamp on the left.
What, this?
Yeah.
Shining down on the screen? No, I refuse to accept that that is a valid place to put a lamp.
Andy's I like the lamp.
I know what Andy has. I'm not gonna try. We go out of our way to not have light shining. Oh, I refuse to accept that that is a valid place to put a lamp.
Andy's I like the lamp.
I know what Andy has. I'm not gonna try. We go out of our way to not have light shining off of our monitors.
Ooh, pretty nice.
This is a pretty nice before. You sure you didn't get those confused?
Oh, a nice LED by the window. The monitor is on the LED.
Did you
find the tiny Acer monitor?
What? Why? You have enough depth in your desk. You can just put it.
No, I get it. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes they want to put the arms down.
That is not a big enough
Like a
monitor
keyboard
to
cap?
intentionally move it farther away. No, I'm sorry.
What the heck is this?
They moved or something.
You are now above a garage.
Cool loft space, though. It just would have been so much better if you had managed to measure the middle point before you started sticking it to the wall.
Oh yeah, it's just a little short.
That's the kind of thing that you go, is it worth redoing all of this? No one else will ever know.
The internet.
We did. I love these right-angle window cases, though. That is sick. Got the printer. First printer.
Yeah. They got a keyboard stand?
Okay, that's not a keyboard stand. That's just an IKEA pegboard that they happen to put a keyboard. A keyboard presentation stand. Because you have more keyboards than you could possibly ever use.
Evan and Caitlin. The couple. This is the before? This is awesome.
What's up with these laptops? Why would you use laptops when you have this much space?
And it looks like they have a desktop under the desk anyway.
Is that her hair extensions hanging out in the foreground?
That looks like it, or a wig, yeah.
Wow!
Some YouTube movie.
It looks great.
Look at all that treatment.
Looks awesome.
Probably sounds amazing.
I love this desk. That's the same desk. Oh wow, it's very
utilitarian.
practical.
It's cleaner now.
2 keyboards is a better number than what you had going on there before.
Some of the same mic.
7 monitors. That's a lot of monitors.
Yeah, they got chat, other chat, other chat.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Got a
Is
monitor.
that a vape?
Looks like it, yeah.
Front and center, baby. Got the vape.
Tasteful
Got
vape.
the Xbox controller. What else could you possibly need? Whoa! Got the father-son setup going on. I love it.
You can tell which one's the dad by the computers.
Yeah, by how much better it is. Giving my son an inferior setup.
Is that wiping the vape still, or does this guy quit?
What's
right there, got the vape.
Whoa! What? Made
Okay, so
my
they only-
case out of concrete?
That's wild.
Is that good for cooling? Like, it's gonna suck in a lot of heat, but then it's gonna keep it.
What is this speaker doing?
There's so many questions.
Where are the fans on these holes?
He just uses the Noctua fan to cool everything.
I think there's a primitive technology video where he builds this case.
You got the DVD.
Look at this. You got the diamond plating side panel though.
This looks pretty good. They got the Kleenex on the desk, so they're always ready.
Where's your VR headset? Where's your VR headset?
There's like kind of garage vibes. That pair of scissors on the right, I would have ended up the other way, more fun play.
Yeah. Yeah, you got keyboard vertical, so we can type like this. That's a whole new
finger guns.
That's some actual electronic stuff, though.
Those sunglasses are free.
These headphones for free.
I hope so. What about the back there behind the keyboard?
This guy right here?
Yeah.
Clearly some kind of display. There's
Yeah.
an HDMI cable.
Hooked up to like a Raspberry or
It looks
something.
like it's made out of Connects. Is this a Lego monitor stand? Mad respect for the cardboard box monitor stand.
Almost as good as that other cardboard box monitor stand.
Ooh, I love the Yellowstone Sequoia.
Okay, leave this still here. What is this thing?
It's gotta use. They got a nice keyboard, a glasses case.
Definitely a big headphone blow up. Also, these Lego plant kits.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Little bonsai.
Super popular.
Yeah.
Yvonne got into them. We have like all of them.
Yellow.
Did they get chips front and center?
What the hell is
Yeah,
yellow?
there's several. I think there's 2 or 3. They have 2 bags of chips are there.
Oh, I haven't seen this in many a year. Do you remember the music visualization in Windows Media Player?
This is a pretty old picture.
That was so cool.
Whoa.
What is all that?
Those are
Funko
Funko
Pops.
Pops. I can't say that I think it's a great investment, but if they make you happy,
Cool case.
Oh yeah.
Is that some Gundam or what is it?
It looks like it.
I like the planning here. You got a calendar?
Yeah.
Nothing on it.
They probably want 4 sticks of RAM just so that they've got the RGB going.
reminder, do nothing.
Wait till next January, we can innovate it again.
Oh, it is gonna. This is
Not
awesome.
figuring in the computer. Oh no.
Wow.
Nice.
Let's address the sheep first.
Who were your celebrity crushes? you really should not charge your devices in your bed if they catch fire and you burn.
I like that cute little clock.
Did I like it? Like old school alarm clock.
That thing gets loud.
Honestly, I consider this to be a better use of this pull-out drawer than putting a keyboard. I don't even know why there's a microphone.
Recording parts.
They're gaming from bed, and they're using that microphone because they don't want to use the crappy mic on the laptop. You know what? Respect. Yeah. Hey, well, they're Magic Man.
Another awesome case.
Yeah, cool keyboard. Sick keyboard.
Nice skin on the MacBook.
Yeah.
White peripherals. Ooh, Ergo mouse.
Wow, there must have been a lot of years in between these ones. That would be kind of a fun game to play. How long between? How many years in between? Good of that. We're just gonna power through it, boys. Sounds good. Looks like we're gonna power through this message from MSI. Don't you hate not having enough I/O? But with the Raider GE68, you're always good to go no matter what needs plugging in. 2 USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 ports, 2 Type-C 3.2 Gen 2 ports, 1 with power delivery, both with DisplayPort, Thunderbolt 4 with DisplayPort, but wait, there's more! We've also got HDMI 2.1 for 4K 120Hz and audio combo jack, both SD cards, and with Wi-Fi 6E just moving to now. There's an Ethernet port so you can stay connected no matter what. Yo, an old alien in your laptop.
Canada Dry!
Baby.
You got an upset stomach?
You didn't even bother showing us the computer, just the tissues. Got the glass bottle, Coke and Pepsi though.
Good job.
This is really nice.
Maximizing the space.
The only problem is where do you put your legs and your feet? Yeah, that's
Cross-legged.
the problem.
You sit cross-legged.
I mean, I sit cross-legged. Even then, I like to be under the jet. Alright,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Got your booze, got your gin up there.
Oh yeah, we got
With Malibu.
got your guns, your pistols. Classic photo one. Wow, wow.
No bag in the garbage can.
Harley Quinn hanging around.
A scale.
Drop it on our. Drop it and defend it.
You need like a bag of baggies right there or something. Corks in the bottles. That's. I mean, I don't drink, but I'm pretty sure that's not right. Yeah. The double death pad with the mic. I hate it. Me too. So much. It's killing me. Is this pornographic?
It's erotic. Look, you got the booze pad. And you should check the figurines.
Oh, that's just a way to put it, sure.
Okay, go to the figurines.
You gotta zoom in that much? No, I think some of these are NSFW.
Go to the figurines.
You think?
Oh my god.
You know what?
Go return ours. Go return ours, or I'll defend this. You can't score. Just leave it there.
What are you doing
Defend
in
it.
front of your computer, buddy?
Nice chair.
We need to return our. We need to return our flag.
Special.
Comfy. No, it's not. I have personally owned that chair for 10 minutes. Comfy for a little while. Yeah.
The shiny parts where the body touches.
Ooh, LED dust pad. Not bad. They got the fancy headphone rack. Love to see the UPS. Take care of your equipment, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that undermounted DAC.
Yeah, and I don't see any cables down there either. Classy, tasteful. Yeah, I really like this setup. Got the PS5. Look at that. That is the mark of someone who can aesthetically manage a setup. If you can have a PS5 that doesn't stand out like a disgusting, ugly sore thumb.
It's because it's turned sideways.
Yeah,
you can't see the collar thing.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Don't mind that. Got the
Nice
VR.
work.
Got the Skittles.
What changed?
Double
What
GGs
changed?
on the
Just cleaned
1,
up.
2,
My
3.
new
So
PC,
what?
that's it's
Yeah,
got.
new PC, different desk. At least, yeah.
Where's
The stainless steel cup is in the same spot. It's very similar. Buddy knows what they like. Got that muscle memory. He's got
Is that a microwave?
It's a microwave! That is sick! Why haven't we built a computer in a microwave?
That is so cool!
I don't know, because it would be terrible for cooling. Yeah, but you got a clock on it and everything. You
Oh
know?
my god.
The shelf.
You know what I would do too? I'd have the buttons functional, and when you hit start, it goes like blah 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 blah.
That'd be
like,
amazing.
as if it's blowing up your stuff.
Ooh,
it's still there.
Still got the microwave. This is yet another barely changed. They got a light bar in the back. Looks pretty cool. All right, Lou. I like the Bulbasaur. Ooh.
Interesting looking keyboard.
Oh
Matching
yeah.
mouse.
I like how it's very flush.
Rounded.
Yeah, rounded.
What is it, like a donut with a union?
They got
shape?
2 phones. This is the after. This is nice. Got the keyboard. Underutilized, right? The whole plant vibe. Yeah. You see very little of it. I recognize this mouse pad. We just bought one on Wish. No! It has typos on it. It's got oh, yeah. The 2 cities that are highlighted in Canada are like Edmonton and freaking something else.
Rip Edmonton.
Yeah, never mind Toronto or Ottawa or like a city that matters. Comes Moon Fighter. Hope you won.
There's a ball.
You're gonna beat it by farting on it. Are they playing WoW? What other game do you think someone eating
chili with
Hey,
bread at their desk is playing.
They've got the buttered bread there.
Mom! Mom!
I want chili.
Hey,
It's great.
I hope there's chili in the glove.
Well, that's really nice though. They definitely aged like 10 years.
They found
Yes.
And it's probably a partner setup.
Found a partner. Yeah, the wife approval factor of this setup is a lot higher.
A plant looks great on a
riser?
stand.
Oh yeah, they really do.
Yeah,
Those
100%.
chairs are so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the little dog bed.
Oh my god, I bet he just sleeps there.
Yeah, underneath. You see the
Yeah.
yellow?
That's so cute.
That's super cute.
Oh, hey, Terry.
Oh hey,
Just has the drink in there.
Sip Peel Win. That tiny Razer mouse pad. Is that Razer?
Vertical Razer mouse pad.
They got the Logitech speakers though. I've got these exact same ones at home because I was cheap and broke. I spent like $50 and got the whole kit.
I like the wall mounted networking.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I love it. It's, you know what? It's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but boy, is it ever practical.
Yeah, some sound treatment. They got the Go XLR.
Go XLR. Very nice cable management under the desk.
Yeah.
Nice glow up. Good glow up.
Whoa, this is the before?
This is a good before.
Hey,
That
they got the
wall
cool
PC.
Yeah, with the Vader. Who's pointing the blaster at him? Is Han pointing the blaster at Vader's head? We'll never know. Whoa! That sign! I want that neon sign.
Man,
so
people have a lot of
bad.
monitors. Mr. Bean?
Hilarious. Cardboard cutout.
That's the first thing I saw. It's like someone's watching me right now.
There's 2 computers
Two
now.
wall computers.
Wow.
Cable management.
That CPU collection.
Whoa.
Wow, stunting.
1600p. He's got a. Why is it SLI?
Why do you have 2 GPUs? You're mining.
It's not even SLI.
Nah,
yet.
they're mining.
This is the before or after.
This is the after.
What are you mining now?
Red Fox.
A bunk bed.
A chair.
Ooh, they got a laptop there. Talk about that MSI.
Yeah, MSI laptops. I almost forgot to mention the stunning Summit E13 Flip Evo being used by my co-host with up to a 13th gen Intel Core i7 processor. It's great for business. Don't pull your sheet down.
No, but they've made some upgrades here.
What has changed? A
Also,
PS5.
what the
They
hell
got
is this desk?
They got a PS5.
It is impressive that you've managed to be in the running for worst desk. Also, this arm. Your forearm, what shape is it now?
You gotta do what you gotta
I mean, you guys
do.
have seen the head creases from headphones, right? What does your arm look like? Redneck engineer.
Whoa, this is the before?
That's the before. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not how you use a ring light.
Yeah,
Okay.
should be a little higher. Oh, this went like very engineering.
Yeah, very practical.
Those
Yeah.
footrest?
It looks like it.
They're to keep the computers off the floor, which is really important for dust management. Got a couple multi-tools here. Got a... I hope your kids gave you that.
His best friend gave him that.
Wait, I shouldn't be mean. They've got the LTC desk fan.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
One of the long ones too.
Yeah.
Is that a foot pedal?
Kind of look like it.
Yeah.
Or something.
Maybe activating your mute or something like that.
That's so cool.
And we've seen hatchets, but this is
A
the first
mallet.
hammer.
That's a
That's
mallet.
a mallet, yeah.
I...
They're different. They're very different. They're very different. They're used for different
Is
things.
there another monitor on the ground?
Looks like it on the right there, yeah. Old monitor. He upgraded and took this picture.
The
Yo!
computer has got older.
It's remarkable. Oh wow, 9800 Pro
That's
AGP.
crazy.
Let's go.
This rug is old, but never is it dirty.
Wow, it's old.
That fan definitely was supposed to be there. Exactly like that.
It's better. It's got like the same motherboard and
Wow.
they've got a GPU now.
Rotated it the other way.
Okay.
Whoa!
Not bad.
What's
not
at the
bad.
bottom of that case?
That seems to be vodka labels.
Wow.
That's a look. That's more vodka labels. Oh, okay, blur that.
Blur that one.
Jeez.
I wonder what CPU is in there.
Well, I'm not going to look any closer at it.
Is that a
Are
vape?
these 18650s? There's definitely some vape action going on here. Keeping it real. I mean, why paint over the wall patches when you can just patch them? They're just as patched, whether you paint them or not.
It's a whole aesthetic. You
Another
keep
poster.
patching it.
Icon.
This is, yeah, that desktop
Wow.
hurts me.
How old is this ring? I hope it started out pink. Okay,
The
out of 10.
keyboard?
The E-Machine's keyboard with the pencil on it.
I don't like it. I used to put pencils in the same spot, though. I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid, I just put them there, yeah. Whoa.
Still big schoolgirl energy.
They've grown up, but they're the same person.
Pin controller. What do they call it when you have that mini curtain at the top of the
Oh!
Valence.
Valence.
Is it? I think it's a valence. And got him.
Nice.
It is a valence.
Nice.
Wow. Yo, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have room on the horizontal plane for your second monitor,
I like the vertical closet.
Yeah, I love it.
I love hanging stuff up instead of folding it. So much
Oh
better.
my god, it's so much
Just
better.
Every
This
console
is-
known to man.
This is recent, because that's like a PS5 controller.
Dust blowers.
I mean, why vacuum when you can just blow it around?
This is before the promotion.
After getting a job. Well, slightly better.
Boom.
Okay, so you got a TV tray, cable extension.
No, it's better.
Is it?
It is better.
Is it? Okay. And
Zippo.
Zippo with the multiple setups.
2002. Wow.
It's in Linus's house.
I'm actually loving it. Got the Discman, got the mini disc.
I always forget how deep CRTs are.
I know, right? Got the Slinky.
Slinky.
This is a high swag setup.
That's with the head on that side.
Oh wow.
Oh, I wouldn't do that at
No.
all. Was this just 2 years later, 2004?
Zazer. Got the Zazer case.
They made some pretty big upgrades, like they got a whole desk.
Got the MX Duo though. Wow. I remember these little bubble LED things.
They got the Zalman coolers.
They were cringe then, and they're cringe now. I'm not saying I didn't like them.
Hell
They
yeah.
look awesome.
Raid Max.
I remember the first time I saw a PC like that in someone's house. I didn't even know that stuff was possible.
Right?
Okay, 2021. Here we go.
Not bad.
All right.
Whoa,
What?
that's a lot of Kirby's. And there's a cat there. Zoom in on the cat.
He's looking out the window.
That's a big ass
Oh,
kid.
it's so fluffy. You know why the computer setup wasn't as impressive? They spent all their money on Kirby's.
And MSI spent all their money sponsoring this video. This was a ton of fun. I like how positive it is, seeing people make upgrades. Oh, we actually spent most of the time roasting them, whatever, that was scripted. The point is, speaking of small, we've got MSI's Stealth 16 Studio. It's a thin and light portable laptop that can handle both gaming and creative tasks. We even used them in the gaming minivan that we kitted out a few months ago. Thanks again to MSI for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out any of the laptops we mentioned today, we're going to have them linked in the description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to check out other roasting videos we've done. We got to do one in person at LTX, and that was super fun, getting to see the reactions firsthand.
Hey, what's up, folks? We're here at a beautiful golf course in partnership with the Esports Awards. Today, we're doing some interviews on these beautiful 18 holes. By the way, I know you guys know this, but we're not really golfers, but we're talking to some amazing gamers and creators out here today. And look at that view, huh? Wow. Dude, there are so many people here today. We got some 2Hype members, including Zach. We have some famous actors out here. You guys know Ross Butler from 13 Reasons Why. He also plays League of Legends. We got some 100 Thieves peeps out here. We also have one of the earliest esports pro players of all time in Fatality, and the man, the myth, Daltouche. Some amazing interviews. It's been a good time. All right, we're here with Ross Butler. You enjoying your day of golf?
Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to the 2023 Podcastage Audio Gear Gift Guide. I've broken this video down into a couple of segments, and I will have the to XLR cable and an audio interface, so that will drive the price up. But even with that considered, the sound that you get out of this thing for this price, it doesn't make sense. So if you're on an extremely tight budget, that's it. Number 4 is accessories, and the first accessory is an XLR to XLR cable. This is the world's best XLR cable. That is the brand name. $35 for two 10-footers. They use Star Quad Canary cabling and Amphenol connectors. That is just fantastic for durability and for EMI and RFI rejection. So for a budget cable, this is absolutely fantastic. Next, we have a microphone quick release system from Gator Frameworks. This costs about $70 for a set of 3, and you can buy 5 more of the microphone adapters for about $40. I have been using these exclusively for maybe 2 or 2.5 years, and they have held up fantastically. They are easy to hook and unhook, and it is great to have so many of these microphone clips available. Third, we have the sexiest item on this list, a hygrometer/thermometer. This measures the temperature and the humidity of your environment. Humidity is the enemy of audio gear. It is the enemy of instruments. So if you have instruments, if you have audio equipment that you care about, get a hygrometer so you know what the environment is like and you know if there are any issues you need to be aware of. Fourth is an item that I recommend every single year, and it's something that I advocate that everybody use, a good set of earplugs. So get a good set of earplugs if you want to maintain a decent frequency response at concerts. If you don't care about that, if you just work in loud environments, just get a set of cheap $5 earplugs from the drugstore, and please protect your hearing because it is so important, and once it's gone, it's gone. Next is another item that I include every single year, and it is a flashlight. This is a Streamlight Micro Stream. It costs about $19. I drop stuff all the time. It falls under my desk. It's impossible to find because my eyes are wonky. Having a flashlight to illuminate stuff is incredibly important. It is incredibly useful. If you have a studio, if you have any dark corners, get a flashlight, you will find yourself using it. Next, I'm recommending a couple of pens and a notebook. I use the Parker Jotters in my studio, and those cost about 10 to 15 bucks. You could just use any notebook that you have available. It is just so useful to be able to document what your settings are if you're constantly changing them. If you have an idea for a song, if you have an idea for a video, having the ability to jot that down and disconnect from your computer for a second is super essential, and I think good for your mental health. So I am recommending a pen and a notebook. The final accessory that I am recommending is some kind of water bottle with a straw top, so you don't have to unscrew the water bottle and risk spilling water or some kind of beverage all over your super expensive gear. As I mentioned, humidity is the enemy of audio equipment, but H2O is the full-on devil to audio equipment. You do not want liquid spilled over expensive gear, it will ruin that, so get a container to contain your beverages so you don't risk damaging all of your expensive stuff. There you go, that is my gear guide for 2023. I know it wasn't all-encompassing and I could have included so much more gear in here, but I wanted to keep it relatively concise. But let me know what you thought of my picks in the comments down below. I will talk to you later. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. Bye-bye. Whoa. Whoa.
You're not going to believe this until I show you the proof, but the situation with Brandon, the guy who spent $62,000 on Ruby Rose's OnlyFans, actually gets so much worse and more sad, and honestly just downright scary for Ruby Rose. I imagine she's considering getting like a really strong team of bodyguards, like trying to hire the fucking Justice League to protect her, because Brandon is unhinged now. And in the last video I made about this, he had met her in person, and Ruby Rose chalked it up to being like, oh, what a coincidence, I bumped into my #1 spender on OnlyFans. Meanwhile, I'm quite sure Brandon cold calculated spontaneously come into it. So he's already showcased that he will find her in the real world given the opportunity. And after what Ruby Rose posted today, if that happens again, I feel like there's no telling what he might do in the mental state that he appears to be in. It's fucking frightening. Let's just get into it. So Ruby Rose dropped this banger on Twitter today. Tap my face on you so I know it's real. And it's a video of text messages between Brandon and her, and that's really not an accurate description because she does not engage in these text messages. It's just Brandon talking at her endlessly. And then another video of the tattoo Brandon got of Ruby Rose's face on his body. Now let's take a peek at the sacred texts here. Let's look at the documents. So right away, Brandon's name is saved in her phone as Brandon Weird OnlyFans Fan. And I think that is just beautiful. Dude has dumped $62,000 in a month on Ruby Rose's OnlyFans content, only to be known by his queen as the Weird OnlyFans guy. I think that is such a powerful lesson many people need to learn. And it's one that extends beyond OnlyFans. This extends to like streaming too. There are a lot of people that believe if they're donating money to someone, they're entitled to some kind of relationship with the recipient of their cash. Whether it's friendship or in this case, fucking marriage, lifelong soulmates, that's just not the reality of the situation. Now let's start reading the text, and it's important to keep in mind that all of these happen over the course of about 48 hours. So really let that marinate in your noodle up there, because it is crazy how deranged this gets. So he starts by saying, "What are you doing today?" And then when he doesn't get a response in a timely enough fashion, he then comes around the next day saying, "Why aren't you answering me? I thought we had a genuine connection." And then the legendary quadruple text, "Ruby, why aren't you answering me? I have invested so much money into our relationship." Pause. So Brandon believes he can purchase a relationship like it's a microtransaction in an EA video game. Brandon dumping his piggy bank while squeezing his hog to Ruby Rose did not buy a relationship with her. And it didn't mean that she was destined or obligated to fall in love with him, which is a concept that Brandon just can't seem to grasp. The only thing he's able to grasp is his cock while watching his OnlyFans princess. This is some frightening delusion here. I imagine Ruby Rose was already a bit concerned when Brandon dumped 62 grand on her in a month. That seems like obsessive behavior, and nobody wants to be the center of an obsession. It's a horrible feeling, and frankly, it's downright dangerous. That's creepy shit, which is why she labeled him the weird OnlyFans guy, I imagine. And now it seems she reluctantly gave him her number, and he is going crazy with it, further solidifying that he is an unhinged creep. He continues, "I am in love with you. Why won't you love me?"
Well, they certainly should be level. That was a
brother.
great opportunity.
And then
to
he
score.
goes into like the longest speech I've ever read. I think he got this directly from the transcript of an anime. "I would do anything for you. I would fly anywhere to be with you. All that I can ever think of is you. There is not a single other person in the world as perfect as you are. You'd be my queen, and I'd be your king. I would give you anything you could ever wish for. You can even have a one-sided, open-ended relationship where you can do whatever you want, as long as I know that at the end of the day, you can belong to me and are only with me. I promise. I will treat you better than anyone, Ruby. I love you with all of my heart. I've never felt this way about anyone. I want to marry you. I want to have a family with you. I want to only be with you. I would quit everything and give up everything just for you. I will do anything for you to love me. I will give you everything I have just for the chance that you never leave me. I want you to be with me forever. In my eyes, I've never seen or known something that I'm so sure will be perfect. I can imagine waking up every day and looking over at you asleep on the bed, looking perfect while you sleep, and I run my hands through your hair. Or am I getting you the largest diamond ring that I can find so that it's on the hand of a true queen? I will buy you whatever car, boat, or jet you want. I will never love someone as much as I love you, Ruby. I love you more than Bitcoin. I only love you. I love you more than Bitcoin. Shit, he just won over my heart with that one. Wow, more than Bitcoin? Really, Brandon? What the fuck? That's a lot. That's a lot of love. I will give up everything to have you to only be mine. Please don't ignore me, Ruby. I am sending you more money right now. You are making me cry right now by not answering me. I am bawling at the thought, thinking that you won't be with me forever, and that you don't love me anymore. I don't know if there is a point anymore to anything. But what do you mean you don't love me anymore? She never loved you in the first place. You have only ever creeped her out, clearly. All I can ever think of or dream of is you. You are on my mind all day, every day. Thinking of how you smelled in the hotel lobby when I first saw you. Thinking of your perfect voice. Thinking of your perfect smile when you first laughed awkwardly as I told you that I was your #1 fan. Everything about you makes me get butterflies in my stomach. Oh, it's making my fucking skin crawl reading this. This is like the most alarming text message I think I've ever fucking read. Without it just being like an overt threat. This is like the closest thing I've seen to just downright declaration of cringe, like frightening obsession. Like, good God. So, it seems like Ruby Rose reluctantly gave Brandon her number when he somehow just magically bumped into her the other day. And this is how things are going. Clearly, these feelings aren't reciprocated because Ruby doesn't even know him. And he doesn't know her. He has an unhealthy obsession with her. And he's imagining this fantasy world of them getting married and all he can think about is her. The obsession is very scary. As I mentioned in the last video, Brandon is a porn addict. He was on an entire TV show dedicated to his porn addiction. And it's clear he is still addicted to porn. And now he is obsessed with her. He actually has a mental illness that needs professional help, clearly.
Now, who can he play it to?
This is just terrifying. Please tell me you're just very busy and not seeing my text right now, Princess. Please? I cherished every second I was with you. I adore you. You're the reason I wake up every morning. I have no purpose without you. You are my pop. Ruby? Ruby, stop ignoring me! Why are you ignoring me after all the money that I've given you to show you that I'm only loyal to you and how much I love and appreciate and adore you? How dare you not answer me? I see you actively posting on your Instagram story and you have not answered me once. You are making me very mad. I have treated you like a princess and you won't even take the time to respond to me. I will not tolerate this. He's going full mask off here into his Batman supervillain origin story, and I can already just see him slamming his fist into his desk at the last part of that message. I will not tolerate this any longer. Notice how all of this is taking place over the course of hours, like a handful of hours. It's all one day to lead to this, spiraling into the deepest pits of hell with this fury that not even Lucifer can conjure, all because the OnlyFans model that he sends so much money to, he's in love with him and responding to his text messages. His very creepy text messages, mind you. It's not even just trying to have normal conversations. He's immediately opening with like, I love you. We need to get married. You are actually all I think about, all I dream about. You are literally my purpose. You are my fucking rock. I know I'm a stranger to you, but you are actually the only angel in my life. You are the sun that shines for me. And I'm looking at the sun and it's not burning my eyes. It's opening them. Luckily, Jekyll comes back out and he puts Mr. Hyde away, and, you know, he's very apologetic for his outburst. It was highly unprofessional and ridiculous, actually. Which, again, this is not uncharacteristic of someone with an obsession. These violent mood swings and all of this anger, obsessions are a horrible thing. And this is clearly an obsession. So, he says, I am sorry for getting mad at you. I did not mean to. I shouldn't have, but the love I have for you causes me to get very emotional, especially about you. I love you so much, Ruby. You're my world, my rock, my queen, my everything. There's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you the happiest little princess in the world. I promise that I love you, and only you for you. Wait, I promise that I love you, and only you for you. It's like a fucking riddle. What is that? That's like some kind of gotcha moment that Gollum would have used on Frodo Baggins. I don't understand. But anyway, I don't care about your followers, your fans, your money. I only want you. Oh wait, I get it. He said, I only love you for you, as in like for personality. Like I don't care about any of the other stuff. I love you for you, babe. Oh my goodness, that's so sweet. Oh, that makes me shiver his bed. Wow, what a heart melter. You're the best thing that ever has happened to me. I know that we only met for 5 minutes and that you had to leave, but I have cherished it so much I cannot stop thinking about it and you. You were magnificent. It was almost like it was out of a movie when I first saw you come down the elevator with your perfect smooth hair, your perfect clear skin, your beautiful smile and eyes. I would never change a thing about you. I only want you forever, my queen. You'll be the only thing and all that I need to be happy. You become my sole purpose in life. Baby. It's so over the top that it almost seems satirical, like it's supposed to be a parody of an obsessed stalker for an OnlyFans model. But I really think this is genuine, not only because he gets a tattoo, and I'm pretty sure it's a real tattoo, but also just knowing Brandon's history, where he is legitimately a porn addict, and we had a whole like show episode dedicated to it. So I really do think this is all genuine here, and that is very alarming. But for just a moment, let's go ahead and play with the idea that this is all fake. What will be the purpose? I suppose that this is all like a coordinated effort between Ruby Rose and Brandon. It could be used to try and drive traffic to Ruby Rose's OnlyFans, perhaps. But I still think that's a bit unrealistic because I don't think anyone would ever agree to play this role. And I don't necessarily see this leading to a lot of new OnlyFans signups because if anything, it highlights the danger of it to a certain extent. So I don't think it would be a successful marketing campaign if this is all fake and that's the purpose. Please, answer me, my queen. Please don't leave me. I adore you, Ruby. You are all I need to be whole in life. I will never leave you or even look in the same direction of another girl. I want to marry you. And then he sends another 30,000. I even spent 30,000 more on you since we met because I thought we had something genuine and real. That's so crazy. What do you mean? If it's genuine and real, you wouldn't have spent $92,000 on it. It would have been free. It would have been a real, genuine experience, not like a fucking transactional one. And you didn't even get an experience. You met her for fucking 5 minutes when you bumped into her. Which, again, I know you schemed and planned for that. You absolutely, like... I'm imagining him on like stakeouts and shit, like in an unmarked vehicle, kind of following her around, like getting her schedule, and then like waiting for the right moment to bump into her.
Well, still an
I will
issue
empty
here.
my bank account just to be with you. I will travel across the country just to randomly run into you again. I will never be over you. You are the love of my life. My perfect little princess, you are stunning. You are my breath of fresh air in a world that is so dark and cold. You are the sun to my thunderstorm, the spurt of luck in my day, the pot of lucky gold at the end of the rainbow. You are my everything in this life. That has to be the worst written line in the history of humanity. That is the worst romance line that has ever been fucking put to paper. Well, put to text. That's worse than 50 Shades of Grey writing with the sodden panties and the I don't make love, I fuck hard. That, what he just said there, that whole sentence is nauseating. And I wish nothing more than to spend the rest of my life with you. I can spend all of my money and be homeless just to wake up every day knowing that you are happy. I can watch you have sexual actions with other men just to pleasure your sexual needs. I can be your sissy boy and let you boss me around while I do whatever you demand of me in my sissy maid outfit. I will do anything at any cost just to make you happy and just to be in the same room that you're breathing in. I have an obsession with you since the day I first saw you on Instagram. Ever since that day, I've made it my life mission to one day have the chance to see you. I'm going to skip a couple of chapters here, like 6 paragraphs worth of more, like, fucking vomit from his mouth. And go to this. I will send you 10 Bitcoin right now if you answer me. That's worth almost 400 grand. All you have to do is respond to me with one word, Ruby. Please, I need your attention. I need to make sure that my kitten is safe. He's actually trying to bribe her again, like, look, 400 grand for you to say anything to me. And actually, doesn't even need to say anything. He goes down and says, all you have to do is just react to one of my messages. Please, I beg you, I cannot think of life without you. So all she has to do, 400 grand, is just react to one of them. It could be like the laughing, crying emoji or something, like how cringe all of it is. And he would then give her 400 grand. Holy shit. That is so fucking pathetic. Now I'm skipping around again here, but then he sends her pictures that he's in a tattoo parlor saying he has a surprise for her, and then sends pictures of the tattoo being done and then the finished work as well. That to me does seem like a real tattoo. I don't think that's one of the fake temporary ones, but it's kind of hard to confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt, like 100% it's real. Like in the pictures, like it seems like there's not a lot of redness there, which every tattoo I've ever had quite a bit of redness around there and like some blood still oozing out. In the pictures I can't really see that, but it's also possible that it's just been wiped away. And in the videos showing the process, it does seem like he's actually getting a real tattoo. So I'm leaning more on the side of this all being true and not just like fake or some kind of scam or anything. And that's scary. Like this whole situation is fucking frightening to see the inner workings of an obsession. And his behavior isn't even unusual for obsessed people. Like this is why it's so dangerous. These fucking violent mood swings, this outrage, this... It's a terrible situation. It's a legitimate mental illness. It's really sad. It's actually sad, and he needs to get professional help for it. He has a porn addiction, and has had a porn addiction since at least 2000. An obsession.